dinner together. If you want,
Woo!
I'll be done at 5:30 or so. Okay. Hello, everybody. Happy Monday. We are getting ready to record a little bit early this afternoon, actually, because it's just Scott and myself.
It's early your time, too. It's like not even 4 yet.
I know, dude. The news isn't even on yet. Dr. Phil is currently on. So we're competing with Dr. Phil. But yeah, we're here. We're going to answer your listener questions as we do every Monday. Then we're going to play. We've already decided we're going to play Tough Disney Choices for Friday. So stick around for both shows. Be a part of the show. And you can suggest some of those tough Disney choices in the second show. And if you have any questions for the first show, just drop those here in the comments and we'll answer those right away. But we're glad you're here. And if you were here on for the live show last night, thanks for being here. That was a ton of fun. I'm still cracking up about that one, man. We had great. I'm still picturing the snake jumping out and calling Wade's name. Like that was the craziest. Yeah. The snake that said Wade.
Country bears coming alive.
Exactly, dude. Nightmare Fuel was what last night's live show is. And so if you weren't tuned in, just catch it on Thursday. Do not miss Thursday.
Dude, that would be epic though. I mean, they wouldn't be like actual bears, it would just be like the characters. Like that would be cool. Like you go in the Pioneer Hall or whatever. Is it called Pioneer Hall? I think that's what it's called.
No, wait, no, Pioneer Hall's where
Hoop-de-doo is. Yeah.
It could be Pioneer.
Oh, I think it's Bear Hall is what they call it. Welcome to Bear Hall. I was trying to remember what
they didn't work real hard on that name. Why are we not getting comments? I see a lot of people in here. Give us some comment. Where are you listening? Where are you watching us?
Yeah, we want your tough Disney choices so that me and Mike don't have to come up with all the scenarios.
Tammy is always here with Tammy and Tigger. Tammy and Tigger, we can always count on you. You are here. Yes. And so let's answer some. Let me get some questions here. Okay. Let's do this. Taco Bell will be coming through early tonight. Maybe I might even be able to have dinner with my family tonight. That'd be shocking. Hello to Alan out in Anaheim. Alan, by the way, run every Walt Disney World Marathon. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, Alan's awesome. I love it when he shares like the old memorabilia. I'm like, oh man, that's so sweet.
I know, no kidding. Jennifer,
he did the Disneyland full because they did like one full out in Disneyland.
Right.
Yeah.
That's cool. Jennifer's in North Carolina. Andrew is tuned in. Thank you to Andrew, another Midwestern brethren. Eric is here. Oh, he has a question. So hang on. We'll hang on that here. Sean's got a question. Thank you for the questions. And Adele, hello from Norway. Holy cow.
That's awesome.
And look at her name, dude. That's probably real Norway. That's probably not even like in World Showcase.
Yeah, I think it's from the actual Norway. Yeah,
it's Norway, not like Norway World Showcase. And then Sean's in West Michigan. Oh, he's giving a little.
Oh, he said 2 bad words. You gotta keep your family rating.
Yeah, maybe like a Kansas fan invading the show.
Yeah,
Amy's here in South Carolina. So we have a question actually from South Carolina to start this off, but it's from Sarah, so it's not Amy. And Andrew's here. Okay, so we got too many questions coming in. Hey, Max is here, one of our great agents over at the Magic for Less Travel. He's up in Minnesota.
Dude, his name sounds like a detective or something.
Max,
I don't know. Like
calling Max Huber.
Does that sound like some secret agent or something? Like I don't know why I get that vibe.
I agree. Okay, we love these questions, but you guys are killing it right now. We got to start the show. Rolling.
And you got to think about the tough Disney choices too.
Right. So just we got to pace ourselves, people. Here we go. What show is this? This is 2126. I love you guys. You guys are awesome. All right. You gotta be careful what you ask for around this place. Right,
real quick before you start, there's gonna be like a real Love Boat? Like, what is that?
No, I saw that a few months ago. There was a casting call, and I'm like, dude, I'm married. I can't. I watched that show back in the day.
Well, is it gonna be like The Bachelor on like a ship or something? Like,
I think it'd be like even worse. That show was correct. I love that. That's like my all-time favorite show. But that show was nuts.
Oh yeah.
Like it was weird because it was kind of a family show, but if you like really think about it, it was like a total like.
Oh yeah. Well, crazy. we've been rewatching them, lately. That's like our thing, and yeah. Isaac is awesome.
Isaac is the bomb. Do you need the Isaac mustache? That'd be awesome. All right, we got.
We should dress up as Isaac, like on the podcast cruise. Like we get like the red vest and.
Yes, we're making it happen because I know there's got to be a costume out there for that. There has to be. So we're write that down. We got to do that. For one of the days, we're
I got the
dressing
notes section going on Apple. We keep throwing all these notes
Yes,
in there. Yeah.
because we have a theme now, and we gotta have a day where we all dress like Love Boat characters. That's it. It's like, it could be
it doesn't have to be
Steve,
Isaac. Yeah, it could be anyone.
Gopher, Julie. Yeah, we go.
Yeah, you could just be Julie. You wear like this outfit and have a clipboard. You're Julie.
Yes. Okay, we're so doing that. We're so doing that. Yeah, it's called Love Boat. By the way, it's a Love Boat 24/7 channel on Pluto TV app. So just download it. You watch it all the time. Okay, and that's what I do. All right. Ooh, Heather's here in St. Louis.
This is why we start early, because by the time we start chit chatting, like it'll be
I know seriously, it'll be 4:30, and I'll still be getting Taco Bell sitting in the long line at the drive-thru.
At least it won't be 107 degrees today. But.
Yeah, exactly. It's currently 79 glorious degrees.
Yeah,
this time
dude, it's 75 partially sunny. That's the best. That's what I always ask for.
Beautiful. It is beautiful. All right. Okay, we got so many questions. Let's do this. 21, 26. Here we go. Welcome to episode 2126 of the Be Our Guest Walt Disney World Trip Planning Podcast. I'm your host, Mike Rallman from BeOurGuestPodcast.com and one of the senior agents over at the Magic for Less Travel. Happy Wednesday to you. Hope your week is going swimmingly and that you're having just great success in everything you're doing. And let's have some fun. Let's answer some listener questions. Let's talk all kinds of Disney topics here for the next 40 minutes. And joining me today to do just that, it's your friend and mine, hashtag Scotty G, joining us from up in the mitten. What's up, Scott? You ready to tackle tons of Disney questions today?
I am excited. This is one of my favorite shows, Mike, because sometimes you get an authentic answer, right? When you're not prepared for the question. It's like an interview where you don't know what's coming. And I love the listener question show. And happy Wednesday to you. Awesome week. The weather has cooled down like 20 degrees compared to last week. Loving the life here in mid-Michigan.
Yes, thank goodness for cold fronts. They are a wonderful thing. It has actually cooled off a little bit in St. Louis, so the grass got cut today. So that was very nice. And also, people have been asking about Ricky. She's been a little bit under the weather. She will be back. It's weird because it keeps happening on Mondays. But I did want to send a very happy birthday to Ricky, who celebrated just a few days ago, a big milestone birthday. So Ricky is doing well. She sends her well wishes, and Pam will be back next week for the shows with lots of intergalactic experiences to share with all of our listeners. When Pam goes on vacation, she just doesn't go for a weekend. Scott, I mean, how many times, because obviously I deal with a lot of our listeners planning trips and just getting the listener questions. I mean, I talk to a lot of our listeners every day, and I need to keep tallies of how many times I get emails that start off with, I want to be Pam Forrester. Don't we all? I mean, you've said that too.
I do. I don't get jealous often, but man, I do get jealous of Pam. And she did tease us a little bit on the social media. And one of my favorite photos was the one of Steve and Chewbacca. Like, did you see that photo where like Steve's got that awesome like rebel hat or whatever?
Was that the one where they were playing Sabak or whatever that game is? You know what I mean? It was almost like when I used to teach. It was like Chewie was the instructor and he was over his shoulder giving him those. I'm like, I mean,
that was the most epic. Like, I almost wanted to frame it just to have a photo of Steve and Chewbacca in my house, and I still might do it. It was. I think I commented
on the picture, like, perfect shot. Like,
it was.
It's like Steve, a Wookiee, and like they're playing a game. Yeah, it was pretty awesome. And by the way, Steve is one of the most underrated photographers, videographers out there. He has got just killer skills at that. Also, Max, who's in our live chat from the Magic for Less, same thing. So
I mean, not to be super pluggy, but like, the Magic for Less, like Steve does a lot of those great like stateroom walkthroughs, ship videos, things like that. So like, definitely give him a look because Steve puts a lot of effort into those, and they are really spectacular.
All right, well, let's do what we're here for, and let's answer some listener questions. Let's get to the first one from the inbox. Then we're going to hit some of these live questions because we have a ton in the comments. First of all, Sarah says, hey, Mike, I found your podcast a few months ago and love listening on my runs. I've got an upcoming trip to Disney in late September, a first trip for my husband and two boys. They're 4 and 3. I booked this trip knowing it would be in the middle of college football season, and we are diehard. They're in South Carolina. What kind of fans do you think they are?
Are they Clemson fans?
Yes, they are. They're Clemson fans, so Mike Bankhead approves.
Yes.
And they never miss a game. So my husband and dad are already discussing how they could watch at least part of the game. Any suggestions on where we could possibly go to watch? We're staying at the Dolphin and have dinner reservations that day for Raglan Road in Disney Springs. Knowing you're a sports guy, I was thinking you'd have some ideas. Thanks, Sarah in South Carolina. All right. So they got to see the Tigers. And I feel your pain, man. I even have a hard time traveling to Disney during college football season. You know this. Like Bama's playing, Mizzou's playing. I love college football. Like if I wasn't married to Pam, I would marry college football. Like that's how much I love college football. It is just the pageantry, just the gloriousness of college football is amazing. But what would you say? So they have a reservation at Raglan Road. It looks like that night. So I have I have a really good idea for that.
I think we're on the same page, Mike. I'll go for it. So yeah, they're already at Disney Springs at Raglan Road. Gonna have a nice meal there. Maybe throw back a Guinness, have a nice burger, maybe some fish and chips. Then I would make my way to Splitsville somehow, because we were there, Mike, for when like Tom Brady took on the Buccaneers, not the Buccaneers, took on the Patriots. He was a Buccaneer. And it was like this big, like, homecoming game for him. And you could see it. You could have it. You could be at any seat in Splitsville, and you would have been able to see that on the big screen. And we thought to ourselves, like, this is a great place to watch a game, right? So you might need a reservation somehow, but I would keep your Raglan Road for sure, but then just plan on going to Splitsville for appetizers or desserts or cocktails, things like that, so you can watch the Clemson Tigers go after it.
Yeah, the funny thing is that night that we went there, they asked us because we really didn't care. We weren't Brady fans per se, and we weren't, like Tampa fans. We weren't. They asked us when we checked in, like, do you have to see the game? Or like, are you here to watch the game? And we were just hungry. We just wanted something to eat. So we're like, we really don't care. Like, just get us in. We'll be good. And the thing is, they took us to the place where I guess they thought we didn't have a good view of the game. Literally, we probably had 6 TVs we could watch.
Exactly.
I saw Tom Brady out of everywhere I turned my head, there was a different way to see Tom Brady in the Bucs in that game.
Yeah.
So I think you're going to be locked in. A second place though at Disney Springs would be City House. They have a lot of you can get apps and drinks there, and they have a lot of TVs and a lot of live sports there too. And the third place though, now this is out of your way, but Rick's Sports Bar over at Coronado Springs would be a third option to think about. Now that's going to be a little bit more difficult to get to and not where you're going to be by Raglan Road. But if you want to make a dedicated trip for a place to watch a game, that'd be a good place to go. And wouldn't it be nice if there was a place called ESPN on the boardwalk to watch things like this? And they used to have like big Clemson ACC logos on the building.
I was going to say Clemson was featured on the building.
I know, seriously.
Because of the ESPN ACC connection. Yeah.
Right.
Or if they just opened up a sports bar at the Odyssey, and then you can park hop to Epcot and watch the game.
Problem solved. Exactly.
Yeah. I don't think you have a problem. Good luck to the Tigers on that Saturday night. The Clemson Tigers always play in prime time, so I'm sure it's Saturday night is when the game is going to be. Let's be real. Like, I swear Clemson is always that 7 or 8 o'clock kickoff on the East, so it should be a good time.
Unless they're playing like Florida State or something, because that'll be a rollover.
Yeah.
So just kidding. Sorry, Seminole fans. This is not pretty lately. All right. Eric's got a question here. Hey, I have a question. I'm at Wilderness Lodge in February, my first time doing a deluxe resort. I plan on horseback riding. What else do you suggest at Wilderness Lodge specifically? I got a kind of a crazy one for Wilderness Lodge. Roaring Fork, the counter service restaurant at Wilderness Lodge, is underrated. And also, everybody raves about Geyser Point, but make sure you have some time to go out there and just have a meal at Geyser Point where you can sit out, enjoy especially in February. I mean, this is probably the best month of the year to be outside in Florida. Make sure you have a meal at Geyser Point. But Roaring Fork, and they have really good cupcakes. They have just good food in general. Nobody talks about Roaring Fork, but I think it's one of the underrated counter service places. So not really like an activity, but don't miss those 2 dining opportunities. What do you think about Wilderness Lodge?
Yeah, I was going to go dining as well, Mike. So Roaring Fork, is really great. What's fun about that too, like if you're staying there, I don't think Eric is necessarily staying there. He's just visiting, doing the horseback riding. But if you can order that poolside, so you're at the pool or whatever, you bring out your phone, you do a mobile order, have some Roaring Fork poolside, which is always nice. But the big one, Mike, is Geyser Point. In February, you're gonna get that a nice breeze off Bay Lake. You got the outdoor seating. Even if you're not a cocktail drinker, just go out there, have a Coke, maybe an appetizer or something, and just enjoy the breeze, and just the atmosphere is perfect. And I would just throw that in by doing a round trip to Magic Kingdom and back, even if you don't have a park ticket that day. I love that boat ride.
Right.
So, hop on the boat, go towards the Magic Kingdom, you go over the water bridge, you come back. That's a nice relaxing ride, if you ask me.
Totally is. And Eric is staying there. He said he reminded us, so he will be there. So he's got plenty of time. And Tim has a great suggestions. Watch the electrical water pageant from the Wilderness Lodge. Great idea spot. Because you got to take advantage. If you're staying at a deluxe, you got to make sure that you are there for those kind of an opportunity, because that's why you're staying at a deluxe. Don't be in the park and miss these kind of things, because that's what you're paying for.
Maybe even go over to Fort Wilderness one day and explore that. I mean, you're next door basically. Maybe have a hoop-de-doo or a Trails End meal. That could be fun too.
All right, Sean's got a question. When will Tron open? If the holiday sales are soft, I can see it opening in either November or December. I think we said this a few weeks ago. I'm still sticking with November at some point, by the end of November. I think that's aggressive, but I think it could happen. What didn't you say, December?
I said December. I went the month after. I said closer to Christmas time, and then I said, well, when you think about Walt Disney World's perspective, Christmas starts in November, so right. November could make sense too.
You know what? Breaking news. Think about this. Okay, it was just 102 here yesterday. Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party starts in 2.5 weeks.
I'm going to the first party. Actually, I'm going to the second party.
So is that right? 2.5 weeks, it's like mid-August, right?
Yeah, I think my party is like August 17th or something, or 15th. I can't remember exactly.
That's crazy that Halloween is almost like starting at Walt Disney World.
That's crazy to think. I've never been. So this will like hit the trifecta for me, because I've been to October parties, I've been to September, I've never been to an August Halloween party. So got to do it once, right, Mike?
Yeah, I went to September. That one time I dressed up like Captain EO and I almost died because it was so hot. Oh my gosh. August, I just gotta be with you. I hope you're not dressed. I hope you dress up. Are you wearing the Jungle Cruise outfits? Because those were pretty cool, right? Those were not.
So I thought about the Jungle Cruise outfits. So the Andersons are going to be there in Beth. So we're thinking maybe we do like a group costume, Toy Story themed maybe. And you can like, I'm not going to wear that Woody costume that we ran the 10K in. There's no way.
Negative, Ghost Rider. Do not do that.
The Jungle Cruise outfits could work. I tell you though, the material is kind of thick. So it's short sleeve and shorts, but it's heavy. You know what I mean? So
be smart about it. You see how the podcasters are falling here. I can't have you fall too.
Yeah. Dude, but you got me like worried. That's 2.5 weeks. I really got to start thinking about that. That's soon.
That is ridiculous. I thought about that on the treadmill this morning. I was like, holy
I'll just fly you down. We'll get you a ticket.
That'll work. Okay. Andrew's got a question here in the live chat. With all the changes that have gone on to Disney Springs, is there a store or restaurant that you miss? I was there as a teenager and loved Disney Quest. You know what? There is a store that I miss, and it's weird. It's because if you listen to Mike in the Midwest, you know this, because this is one of the things I talk about many times. I'm a huge like retro person. I love the 80s. I have a retro Pac-Man machine here in the basement that has like Galaga on it, Pac-Man and all these old Pac-Man games. So I love that kind of stuff. But I grew up, like I was born in 73. So I grew up in the 80s. I grew up at a roller rink that my next door neighbors owned. I managed it. So I'm definitely a child. I'm always listening to 80s on 8 on Sirius XM. That's my jam. So looking back, one of the stores that I really miss, and it's weird, is the Virgin Mega Store at downtown Disney, because this thing was huge and you could just go in there and buy like records and tapes and CDs. I don't know if you could buy records, probably not records, but it was just one of those things. It was like a giant like Camelot music. I don't even know why you'd want to buy. I got to ask you this kind of off topic before I get your take on this, something you missed. Is there some kind of psychology to when you're at Disney, you are more apt to buy things that you wouldn't buy at home? It's the exact same item, right? Like when I'm at home, I'm like, I don't need that. But when I'm on vacation, I might buy it. So like CDs I would buy on vacation. Like I might buy, some kind of artist that I like in downtown Disney. But if I was at home at the mall, I'm like, I don't need that right now. Like there's some kind of like psychology to being on vacation where you will buy something where same item you wouldn't buy at home. But anyway,
it could be for souvenirs. So I think about like my dad and brother, like they always watch the dog Oliver when we go on a trip. And I'm really bad about like bringing something back for them. But when I think about it, I'm like, oh, what can I bring them back? But like, they're not really Disney people either, So like in that case, I could be like, oh, well, here's something I can buy my brother a CD. Like, I know he likes this artist. I mean, it has nothing to do with like where I'm at, like on vacation, but could it just be like, I can come back home and be like, oh, thanks for watching the dog. Here's this new album. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like that could come into effect too. Like when you're thinking about souvenir shopping, it's not necessarily for like where you're at, but like, I want to buy for others while I'm on vacation too.
That's a good point. So is there a store that you missed that's gone?
So Our first trip was 2011, and honestly, we didn't go to downtown Disney that much. We would go for like World of Disney, and that was about it. So this seems, I don't know if I'm going to lose my Disney card here, but I don't really remember much the pre-Disney Springs era of downtown Disney. I will say something that I wish I would have experienced though was the Pleasure Island. Like I hear so many great things about
That
that.
was awesome. That was
Yeah.
because that was like the perfect age for that. That was so fun. It was New Year's Eve every night. You go to the Adventures
Every
Club,
night.
you go 8 tracks. You could go to this 80s club, and then they had a country club. Oh my god! And then
Could you imagine doing like podcasts, like meetups to those?
man,
Like it'd be like being
yeah.
on the cruise. It seems like to
Yes.
me almost. Yeah.
Oh man, it was so cool. But yeah, Pleasure Island was awesome.
So
I
I would
understand where it could be a problem, right? It could,
for
I mean,
sure.
'cause, I used to DJ wedding receptions every Saturday night, and it was like 50-50 whether the cops had to come at the end of the night because people were drunk and there were fights. Like, because
Yeah,
I
it
was
could get
always
ugly.
like VFW halls. So I get it. Like Disney probably doesn't want to have to deal with that
And it's
every day.
not always people on vacation there, right? It could be just
It was
locals. This is like
locals,
my
yeah,
hangout spot, and it could
yeah.
get nasty. So I could totally understand why they would have removed it, but man, I would have loved to experience that because everything I hear from people that saw it, it just seems so awesome. But so that's something I miss in quotes. I didn't experience it, but I wish I would have been able to experience it.
It was awesome, but I'm not gonna rub it in. All right, Nicole's got a question. Hello. Well, she says, Nicole from Dallas, your colleague Carol is helping me plan my first Disney cruise next summer. Carol's
Nice.
awesome over at the Magic for Less. Good job. 4 nights on the Wish or 5 nights on the Fantasy that includes 2 stops at Castaway Key. This is what we're doing on Friday. This is gonna be one of my questions. It's gonna be very similar to this. So 4 nights on the Wish or 5-night double dipper to Castaway Key. God, and I love the Fantasy too. Oh, my head just exploded. Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna throw it to you first. I'll let you do it. What do you
My
think?
head is exploding. So I don't know Nicole's background or like
That's
how
the thing.
many
I need to know her background.
I don't know how
because
many Disney cruises she's done. I'm gonna say that she's done like maybe like 3 or 4, like a smallish amount where maybe seeing the new ship isn't like a necessity, she's still breaking ground into the Disney cruise line. That's why I'm gonna go 5 days on the Fantasy. You get an extra day on a ship and you get to go to Castaway Key twice. I mean, I'm not saying it's a no-brainer, but I always would take the extra day because the Fantasy is a gorgeous ship. We sailed it on a Be Our Guest podcast cruise. We did a 7-nighter, a double dip to Castaway Key on the Fantasy, 1 extra night. That has to be it, Mike. Like, would you go? Oh, it's first time cruise. It's our first time cruise. Fantasy all the way. Do the Fantasy.
I 100% agree at this point. Now that we know it's her first time cruise, you got to take the longer cruise. The Fantasy is an amazing, amazing ship. And 2 days at Castaway Key is I'm telling you what, leaving Castaway Key is so sad because it's such a great island. You have such a great time, but it's the best when you're doing a double dip because you're coming back. Like,
Yep.
you know what I mean?
And you can do it one of those days chill, right? Like,
Yeah,
that's what I
exactly.
like to do.
The first day, you're so chill because you're like, I don't have to do everything. I can just kind of chill out. And the second day, you're like, I'm not even that stressed because I did some of the stuff the first day. It's a whole mindset thing. You're not in a rush either day. It's amazing. Double dips.
And I mean, knock on wood, this wouldn't happen to you, but sometimes, due to weather, they can't dock at Castaway Key, and it just turns out being a sea day. But having that double dip gives you better chances of at least seeing it once. So I don't know what else more we can add because I love the Fantasy. I've been wanting to get back on the Fantasy since we did the podcast cruise. Gorgeous, beautiful ship. You can't go wrong. Great restaurants. I mean, it's very similar to the Dream, but yeah, save the Wish for another time. Do the 5 nights on the Fantasy.
Yeah, I would say the people that would pick in that scenario, the people that would pick the Wish, the 4-nighter, are the people that have sailed all the ships multiple times and need the new experience. Like you've done all the restaurants on the other 4 ships and you've been, so you just want to see, I got to be in that Frozen restaurant or I got to check out those new stateroom layouts and so forth. That would be the people I would say, okay, maybe go for the 4-night on the Wish because you need something new, which a lot of people are in that case. But if you've never sailed Disney Cruise Line, you are going to be blown away by the Fantasy and you need more time. And that is a killer cruise.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Perfect.
So when's the itinerary? Because like now I want to book it.
Let's go. Okay.
Let's
And
go.
Heather is in the live chat here. Says, hello, hi from St. Louis, Go Cards, future home of Juan Soto here soon. Thoughts on the new Magic Band Plus? Should the entire group get the new Magic Bands or just 1 or 2 people? All right, I'll jump in on this one. I would say just the uber Disney fans can start with them. Here's the thing. these things are going to be available, I think. Now, I can't say because who knows with supply chains. It's 2022, people. But I would say the Uber Disney fans, they're really like, going to get FOMO. If you don't have them, get them. But, if the people that are just like, I'm just here to be on vacation, like I'm just came to eat ice cream and ride rides, they probably don't need them. But if they give a little FOMO, you could probably get them in the Emporium or on, Hollywood Boulevard or wherever you are. They might not be the exact Magic Band you're looking for, but I'm sure they're going to have some inventory of some colors, places that if you want to get Magic Bands Plus, and they launched today, actually, as the show drops. So I'm sure you'll be able to get them something. I mean, I have mine, it's actually charged right next to my foot. Just sitting there, nothing to do. But I think you could probably get them. But I would say the people that really are the hardcore Disney fans, grab them. And I don't think they're a necessity. I don't know. What do you think, Scott?
Yeah, not a necessity. I will say that trip I'm coming down where, we're going to go to Not So Scary. I'm going to want them. My whole family's probably going to want them because we're like hardcore Disney people and we like to have the newer things, so we'll probably end up buying 3 of them, not 4. The dog doesn't need one, but we'll probably end up buying 3 of them. And then we'll probably realize like, well, did we all really need them? Because like the games that you can do with them, like the scavenger hunt and bat 2, I don't think all 3 of you really need them to experience that. Right. So I would say just 1 as a minimum, but if you're really into Disney and you like the keepsake items, then maybe the whole group would want them at that point. Mike's showing off the new one right now. Look at that, baby.
Trying to get this thing to light up here. It was charged there and it was lit up on the charger. Let's see here. I know it's an audio podcast. So
it looks cool. I like the one you got because aren't there other? So Mike's has like the Mickey head, like the Mickey symbol. But aren't there others? There's like a partner statue one with like Walt and Mickey, I think. And there's like
different. I got the cheap one. This was the cheapest one they had. It was like I think this is. I got it at Disney Springs at World of Disney. It was like $25.99 with my AP discount. It just vibrated, so it did something. Awesome. Oh, there it goes. It's kind of lighting up.
Oh yeah, I see it kind of green flashing. Yeah.
I don't know what it's doing. I mean, it's Alexa enabled, so hopefully it's not like launching my garage door going up or something. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, they're cool looking and they're not very big. I mean, it looks like it'd be pretty comfortable to wear, just kind of like the old Magic Band. So we'll see. I'll leave it sitting here and see if it sends me a message or vibrates.
And Heather, being from St. Louis, made me think of a tweet you retweeted today. So Budweiser's going to have some cans for your favorite players.
That's right. Awesome. I don't drink beer, but there's going to be one with Wainwright and one with Yachty. And if he stops getting in trouble playing basketball down in Puerto Rico, we can get him back. And I'm going to buy those cans and just put them.
And the hashtag was Best Buds. So I was thinking I might email Budweiser to see if you and I can have cans of each other. Best Buds. There we go.
Well, they're going after the whole podcasting Disney audience, right? Yes. We'd both be on a can. Perfect. All right, Tammy, a Clemson fan. Speaking of Clemson. Guys, any personal speculation on when the Magic Kingdom train will be back? Saw the cast members were starting to train. She says, good pun there. I like that. Oh, God, I like it on that. Can't wait. And I did see that tweet as well. God, I love the trains. And being on that train at Disneyland just made me miss the Magic Kingdom train so much. It was just so much. We rode that train like nobody's business. And
dude, we did like 6 or 7 straight stops on it.
How cool would it be though if the Magic Kingdom train comes back and there's dioramas? Like there's dinosaurs, and that's not going to happen. But we'll take the train. When do you think it's going to come back? Do you think it's going to be back prior to the launch of Tron?
I don't think it's going to be prior to. I think it's going to be in conjunction with. I think it's going to be the big announcement will come and be like, guess what's coming? Guess what's coming to Magic Kingdom? Tron's opening on this date. And it's also going to be the return of the train. And maybe they'll throw another thing in there. Maybe there'll be like a train cupcake of some sort. Who knows?
The cupcake will come. The cupcake will be there. I'm speculating that the train will open prior to Tron. I would say because they're training the cast members and it's July, I'm guessing the train around Labor Day. Because if they can get the track run and get it all clear, because they can still do fun. Because think about it, they're going to have the train running while Tron's running. So the track is going to have to be clear. I'm just trying to connect the dots. I would say Labor Day for the train because that would be like a good gesture for going into the fall. They wouldn't be trained. I don't think they would need to train the cast members for the train this early if it's not going to be till December.
True. That's a good point. Will your Magic Band Plus, like when you walk by the train, go choo choo on your Magic Band?
I've always been jealous of your DVC Magic Bands because they do stuff at the touch points. Mine just let me in.
Yeah, mine's pretty awesome. It says "Welcome home" to me when I check in.
Yes. And by the way, Chris had the exact same question in the live chat at the exact same time as Tammy. So Chris, there's your question too. So 2 for 1.
I like your answer though, Mike, because like, why would they be training already? Like, I don't think it's going to take that much training if it's going to be 4 months from now, right? So you might be onto something, Mike.
I love that we're saying training for the train. That's
Yes.
awesome. All right, let's see here. Next question is from Sean. We got a bunch of people together a few years ago and redid Battle of the Network Stars. Oh wait, this is just a comment from our Love Boat comment.
Oh yeah.
One couple came as Captain Steubing and Julie McCoy. It was the best. So
There.
podcast
crews. Come on board, Sean.
All right, Alan, our good buddy from the Lizards, who has run every Disney marathon.
Right.
Now that's everyone, people, not just like, the last 5. He is perfect Disney marathon. Think about that for a second.
I guess it'd be 28 because if we're about to do the 30th, we missed 2021, unfortunately. But then he did the Disneyland one. So yeah, so he's about to do his 30th. Yeah.
He's done the Disneyland marathon, which is, that's a unicorn right there. And so if you buy the swag for Run Disney, it always says every mile is magic or every magical mile. They always have some kind of pun like that. And if you want to know if that's true, the person to ask is Alan, because I've had a couple miles here and there that have not been as magical as the others. I'm just saying, like every once in a while, not every mile is magical, but for the most part, I'll give him a pass. I'm just saying. So Alan asks, which restaurant would you celebrate post-race on Sunday in January? Because that's always an important place to go. We've done a few places, but where would you go get your druthers?
So we've done a few. So we did Topolino's last year, which I thought, or this year, I should say. And I thought that was great because, I love that place. We've done Via Napoli before, which is really good. But one that stands out to me, Mike, and I think is going to be my answer because of the menu, the atmosphere, just like everything about it, was the Boathouse. I thought the Boathouse was an awesome spot to celebrate. You just eat a whole bunch of rolls. You can get the filet mignon sliders, you can get burgers, you can do seafood, and you can do a huge dessert at the end. Because after doing Dopey or a full marathon, you deserve a huge dessert at the end of the day. But I will say though, like I'm hungrier on Monday.
That's what I was just gonna say. Hot take for people that are not necessarily distance runners is that you are not as hungry the Sunday, but Monday, look out. Like the day after the marathon, you will eat anything and everything. I mean, Monday is where you will just tear, and that's when I travel home. So like I'm just destroying stuff at the airport, like at the hotel before I leave. When I get home, I'm going through Taco Bell and ordering like 10 of everything in the menu on the way. It's insane. Like I always thought it would be the right after the race. I need to eat. You're not typically that hungry, but the next day, look out.
Yeah. Do you have a spot though that you like?
Here's the thing though. I like to have like something to munch on right away. So like a Mexican restaurant would be good because they bring you like chips and salsa. See, I like to be strategic. Like when I'm super hungry, that's why I like Mexican restaurants.
We did Ohana one year too as a big group. I remember that.
And that was okay until they brought the bill. Then I almost when it
you did just about die. I almost had to like pay for yours. Like, don't worry about it. Like,
exactly.
Congratulations.
Like, the Dopey didn't give me a heart attack, but the bill at Ohana almost did. So, I mean, it was a great meal with a ton of fun friends. It was really good, but it was just one of those. And the thing is, like, you got to watch too, is that especially if you do Dopey, you're kind of exhausted at that point. And if you go to a place that really fills you up and is slow service, like sometimes you just don't want to sit that long. Like you start to lock up, when you sit that long, you almost start to fall asleep. Like you want to make sure the meal is good, but you don't want to be sitting there for maybe 2 hours. You want to be like an hour and a half and out. Do you think the same? I mean, a long meal can get you.
Long meal can get you, and then you just get too tired. Like that Boathouse meal, I'll never forget this. We split up our groups for some reason. Like I think the Foresters had a car, so like Mallory and Elizabeth and Emily rode with the Foresters. You, me, and Pam like took a bus. I don't know why we did it the way we did, but I remember I fell asleep like on an 8-year-old, like an 8-year-old shoulder. Like remember, like I was just out, and then like I just woke up and like, oh, I'm sorry, thanks for the pillow. It was kind of awkward, but yeah, like you're just so tired, and like I think eating is a challenge on the day of the marathon. It really is.
It is. I mean, your body's just like, what have you done to me? Like, just stop. Like,
I will say though, I do have a tradition on Mondays when I stay through Monday. So after my first full marathon, me and the Martins, like Moose, Jocelyn, the girls, we were like, let's go to Narcoossee's to celebrate this first marathon. And that became a tradition. The next year we did Dopey. We went to Narcoossee's on Monday. We watched the college football because that's usually the night of the college football.
And that's why I'm usually hauling home on the morning so I can get home by the football game in the evening.
Where I'm doing the opposite. I'm at Narcoossee's and me and Moose have it up on like one of our phones and we're just like having surf and turf and watching the college football playoff. That's kind of a fun way to celebrate too. But if you do stay through, it's really nice to have like a nice meal, I think. Because like you just did a huge thing. You just ran 26.2 or 48.6, or even if you just did the 5K, to have that big celebration meal, like it just pays off all the training and the hard work that you put through.
I agree. And Alan's following up here. He says, let me just get this. He just popped it up. 2023 will be 31 plus Disney marathons, 27 at Walt Disney World, 2 virtual for Walt Disney World, 1 at Disneyland, in the LA 26.2 and 95.
The beast.
Let's see here. If you lived in Orange County or LA, it was required in order to sign up for the Disneyland. Thanks for the input on the restaurant post-race celebration. Find the day after the race is Metal Monday and eat everything in sight. Hope to meet you guys. Really happy you enjoyed Disneyland and DCA. Yeah. I can't wait to meet you, Alan. And you are an inspiration because, I feel like I've run a ton of miles and I have a lot of medals on the wall, but then I look at you and you're like a hero because the miles and the stories you must have and the sneakers you must have worn out over the years, incredible. So I love that. That's the thing is like our lizards have, folks that are taking their very first 5K here in November, for the wine and dine. But then you have folks like Alan that are here. So if you ever need any advice, you have people from all points of view. And I could go to Alan and ask so many questions and get great advice. I love that.
Yeah. And just be on the lookout for Alan's posts and the lizards, because he will just post like, here's the 1999 medal from the like, and it's amazing to see the evolution of like how the medals were to what they are today. Like some similarities, with Mickey as the theme, but like, it's just awesome to see like how it's grown over the years. It's pretty remarkable.
Absolutely. All right. Jacob says, not a question, but a comment. We go to Walt Disney World multiple times a year for long weekends in the spring and fall. This fall, we were planning a big family trip with my sister, her family, and my parents, total of 11. But after listening to the trip reports the past few weeks, we have made a major pivot and are doing a long weekend in Disneyland instead. The adults have all been, but none of the 5 kids. Everyone is so excited. Well, I may or may not have on my Disneyland shirt today as we record, because I'm still like on the high. Here's how I know when the vacation is officially over. So I'm still showering on smuggled H2O tubes of the body wash and the green shampoo. So I still have enough that I'll be going here for probably another few weeks. And then it's going to be officially over. So, yeah, I've been emailing with folks, since I got back, and I through the podcast, I hope you saw, and we've been getting great feedback from those shows. I fell in love with the place. I mean, I didn't know what to expect, and I thought I would be. I really, in my heart, was like, I'm going to be disappointed. It's not going to be big enough. It's not going to have what I like, because I like the hotels, I like the boats, I like the Skyliner. I love the feel of Epcot. There's nothing like that out there. And I didn't stop smiling for 7 days when we were there. It was so awesome. I love to hear this, Jake. I mean, Walt Disney World's amazing too. Don't get me wrong. I love going to Walt Disney World, but I mean, I was so excited that it went the other way. It was not disappointing. It exceeded my expectations on all fronts. And you said it would, and I just didn't believe you.
You want to know something crazy on a personal level? I was thinking about this the other day, like on a walk. So every time we've cruised, that year we've gone to Disneyland. I don't know how that's happened. So it went kind of backwards this year because we had the Disneyland trip planned, and then like I did a last minute cruise like out of nowhere, and it's just weird how that works. So 2023, Mike, I'm doing the Our Guest Podcast cruise, so maybe I'm making another trip to Anaheim in 2023.
You know me, man. I've been wearing my Disneyland stuff. Like this hat is special too. I've got this exact same hat, but I bought this one. It's a duplicate. Because I wanted to buy something on Main Street USA in Disneyland. So I got it updated.
I love it. But that turns into a really expensive year when you go to Disneyland and cruise. like, why do I do that? They should alternate years, not be the same year. It makes zero sense. But I love the pivot. Go to Disneyland. The kids are gonna love it. I can't wait to hear it. I want to hear a trip report on that. That's gonna be awesome.
Totally. Get with me because we got to talk. All right, Adele, who is tuned in live today as we record from Norway, and we're not talking in World Showcase between Mexico and China. We're talking over in Europe. She says, "Hello, we are." Let's see. Wait, it's hidden behind the button here. So let me hit this. Let's see here. Hello, my husband and I will arrive in Orlando October 29th, staying off site this year. We are going on our first Disney trip November 4th on the Wish. I was wondering, will the Halloween party be worth the money? You're the Halloween party. I think it totally, the Halloween party is killer.
And especially if you've never done it before. If you've never done it,
you totally,
If you've never done it, you totally got to do it at least the one time. I say do it. Especially this year. Like, I mean, you'll have a better idea. Like, the thing is, though, you got to kind of have to buy your tickets in advance, especially if it's going to be that close to Halloween. Because my theory is the closer it gets to Halloween, the harder it is to get that ticket because people are more in the spirit. But maybe take a little bit of a chance and see how the first couple parties go, like how the review goes. I'll be on the show and I'll talk about it too. But I feel like with the return of the party, it's going to be even more epic this year. That's just my thoughts, Mike. But speaking on years past, though, I think it's worth the value, especially if you've never done it before. You see people in costumes, the Boo to You parade, Hollow Wishes, the fireworks, like everything is awesome about that event. It's just an awesome party.
Oh, and she follows up, sorry, in a later comment here down below. She says, any tips for first-time cruisers? And I've actually met Adele in 2019 in Epcot. My apologies. I do remember that because that was the day at the 4th of July. I remember this day. We had a meetup on the 4th of July.
Epic meetup.
It was insane. Dude, listeners came from everywhere that day. We met probably 100. No kidding. On my photo roll, I probably have pictures of 100 different listeners we took selfies with that day. It was insane. It was one of the best days for the podcast ever. It was incredible.
What's crazy about that, like very often I'll see people post like a memory of that day. Like, this is the day that changed my life. Like, I met this friend and that friend. Like how cool is that, Mike, that from the podcast perspective, that you had this meetup, this random 4th of July meetup, and people still talk about it years later about how they built like new friendships from it. That was an epic meetup for sure.
That was an epic meetup, and I'm so glad you came by. That was yes. No, I didn't see the comment below. So she's asking first time advice, especially she's going to be on this brand new ship, never sailed Disney Cruise Line. I say, so you're going to go to the Bahamas on the Wish, and I hate to say this, but stay on the ship in Nassau because you're not going to have a lot of time on the ship, and this ship has so much going on. I would say to just stay on the ship, and my biggest advice for folks that haven't sailed, do the little things. Of course, you're going to want to do like the Aqua Mouse and all the, the big stuff that you can't miss. Obviously, you're going to want to do the adult dining, but I'm telling you what, the stuff that I come home and have so much fun are like the trivia games, the 80s trivia, the go watch the diaper dash. Even if you don't have a kid, get involved in the cruise director staff activities, the small venue stuff that has like 50 people, 25 people that are in the bars and in the lounges and stuff that happens at 2:30 in the afternoon. That stuff is so much fun. And you really get to kind of know your fellow cruisers. I love that stuff. So what advice would you have, Scott?
You know me so well, Mike. I'm going to say something similar. Like, doing those small things are so fun. Like, look at the plans. I mean, the agenda is going to be so full with so many things that overlap, so you kind of have to pick and choose. But, if you love 80s trivia, go for the 80s trivia, do that. You're going to mingle with other guests on the ship. You're going to have a great time. The hosts of these shows are just phenomenal. They're funny. They're entertaining as heck. Go to the D Lounge and just watch some karaoke, like even if you don't do the karaoke, it's so much fun to watch a stranger just make a fool of themselves on stage. And every now and then you'll see a superstar. Like on our last cruise, this guy did this song from Hamilton. And like, I was just blown away. Like he didn't even like read the lyrics, like he just had it all memorized and was like dancing with it.
He takes the monitor and he's like, whew. It's like a Luke on the original Star Wars. He turns off his targeting computer. Don't need
that's a goal of mine on like the Wish is to go up and say, give me a random song on shuffle and no monitor and see if I could do it. That's what I want to do. But yeah, Mike just hit it. Like, and especially with Nassau, like I know you're going on these cruises and you want to like do the excursions or you visit the different destinations. But to me, a lot of the time, especially on a new ship like the Wish, the excursion is the ship, exploring the ship, doing all the fun games on there. And you'll probably see a lot of people doing the same thing though. So the ship will probably be a little bit busier than you would think it would on a day like that. But just enjoy the ship as much as possible.
Yeah, totally. Great advice. Just have a good time. It was an incredible meeting. And thank you for listening to the show. And you do not know what that means to listen to the show over in Norway. Again, my dad is a radio DJ, grew up in radio, and he was like, everybody in St. Louis can hear me when I DJ. I go to my dad and I'm like, everybody on the planet can hear my podcast. I can't wait to call him tonight and be like, yeah, I was talking to somebody from Norway. Yeah, that is like, it's like father-son thing. It's so cool. All right, real quick, man, great questions today. We got another one from Brooks. Just Scotty G, a question for you.
Oh.
How do you train between race weekends when you have 8 to 9 weeks? If I run my first half marathon during wine and dine, how do I remain steady for marathon weekend? Because I'm just an idiot and I just do the same thing every single day. So I don't really have a training plan unless you just want to not be able to like walk because your knees hurt so bad.
Yeah.
But, so
Yeah.
what do you
So I've done that before where I'm doing, so I don't know, Brooke, if you follow the Galloway plan, because that's the plan that Joe always posts in the chat in the Lizards group. And I think that's a really good plan. I think it's kind of crazy to do the 26-mile run. Like I would skip that. If I'm going to do 26 miles, I want to get the medal for it. You know what I mean? But so I would follow that plan. And Wine and Dine always falls in a weird spot where it calls for like a 19-mile run or like a 7. It always calls for a longer distance than what you're doing that week.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think that's going to mess with you too much. Just, do Wine and Dine, do it as what it is expected. And when you come back, just pick up the longer distance on your next training run that the plan calls for. You're not going to see much of a significant difference there. You'll be well trained already for the half at Wine and Dine. Then you just pick up the distance when you get back. You do plenty of walking in between and all that. So I think you're going to be good on the distance.
Yeah, I always say if you follow those Galloway plans, you're fine. And you don't even have to hit the exact numbers on the long runs. As long as you're in the ballpark, right, you're going to be fine.
Because I always say Disney, like running at Disney is going to get you an extra 4 miles. I know that seems like a crazy number. That's why like 21 to 22 is always my magic number. Like 2 to 3 weeks before the full. If I can hit that, I know Disney and Mickey Mouse is going to carry me for the rest of the way on race day.
Tammy, our Clemson fan, Tammy Tigger says, Mike, are you seeing any good hotel rates, good times to book a night or two in the fall? Right now, man, availability is getting super tight for the fall. So not seeing a ton of great, like discounted rates. I mean, I'll be honest, like I was looking for somebody right before the show, October 15th to the 20th. And for that range of dates, the only thing on property that showed availability was Animal Kingdom Lodge Villas, a 1-bedroom Savannah View at Kadani Village. Because I just did that right before we started recording. That was it for all of property.
So everyone's celebrating my birthday that week, apparently.
Yeah, so I'm just saying, if you want to go down this fall, I would book and then again hope for discounts to be released. But again, Disney needs unoccupied rooms for the incentive to release discounts, but you never know. And again, you can cancel packages up to 30 days with no penalty, and room only is up to 6 days with no penalty. So there's no risk. So book and then hope for discounts is my best advice. All right, Paul's got a question. Let's see here. I've only ever been on a cruise pre-family. Do the Disney ships have staterooms for a family of 4? I remember our cabin being tiny. This was like 12 years ago. Okay, so here I got to back to the Love Boat. When you watch the Love Boat, are those cabins not like the size of like a master bedroom in your house? Like,
yeah, dude, they're humongous.
There's people running businesses. Like I was watching one the other day. This lady had a typewriter. She was like traveling with her boss. They had a whole like corporation working in her stateroom. Like, dude, the staterooms are never that big ever. I mean, unless you're like traveling concierge and you got like a 1-bedroom. Anyway. Good news, Disney Cruise Line was built for families, and not only do they have staterooms, most staterooms, almost every stateroom will accommodate 4. They have what are called family staterooms. So if you see the word family in the description, those are specifically built for families of 5. So they are very large staterooms that have accommodations that'll comfortably fit families of
very
5.
Large in quotes. I mean, you still feel like you're going to be on top of each other, I feel like, but it does accommodate it though.
They're not that bad. Honestly, they're not tiny. Cause I think back in the day, like staterooms used to be tiny. Now I think because I mean, we traveled we did an 11C as a family of 4 with luggage for 12 nights. We did back-to-back cruises. We did a 7-night on Freedom of the Seas with Royal. And we did a 5-night on the Dream. And we did an 11C, and that's with 3 girls. That's with like 2 girls and my wife and myself. And we didn't kill each other. I mean, and that was a small stateroom. That's the smallest on the ship. And we're still alive. But I mean, if you book like a veranda stateroom for a family of 4, you are going to be fine. Disney books these or builds these with families in mind. Totally not a problem. Do we have time for one more? Let's do one more because Chad's here because we're about out of time. I like this one because we don't have it. Who knows? Chad says, any guesses on springtime surprise theme? And when will they announce it? Do you remember when they announced the theme last year? I can't remember.
I don't remember when they announced the theme, but as you know, Mike, I was talking to you a little bit last week, like, oh man, I have a DVC room, but I always run out of points, so maybe I might want to book a room for springtime if I decide to do it. And I remember looking at the Run Disney site, and I think registration's in like 2 to 3 weeks from now, or a month. It's like it's within a month, I feel like. So they gotta announce something, because I don't want to register for something and not know what the theme is. You know what?
Did they announce the theme before registration?
They did.
That's I didn't remember that. And so Run Disney, though, last week, like, put out a thing, and it was like, happy anniversary to the Tower of Terror. And I thought for a hot minute that was going to be the theme for the weekend again. I thought, oh, it's the Tower of Terror 10 miler again, because I thought they were teasing like the Tower of Terror 10 miler race. And I thought, so say they come back in the spring surprise, the longest distance is that they bring back the Tower of Terror 10 miler again. Is that good for you, or is that something you're disappointed in?
That's a great question. Like, because my thought is springtime surprise. I like to be a different surprise.
Surprise.
And it doesn't have to be like old races. So I've talked about this so many times. Like, I wish they would do like an attractions themed weekend, where they did this for a virtual series one summer ago too, where you do like a Haunted Mansion themed race or whatever, and then you get a Haunted Mansion medal at the end, and it could just be like your typical like 10K that you do through Epcot or whatever. I mean, it doesn't have to go through the Magic Kingdom, or maybe it's an Epcot themed race. But I would just love to see more attraction themed races. But one thing I'm just going to throw out there is just to be funny, but I would love to see for springtime surprise, maybe do the same.
When we talk about things, I mean, we have an uncanny, seriously way to make things happen.
Right. So, and I think Mike Scopa maybe even said this years ago. Maybe that's why I have this random idea in my head, but like, do the springtime surprise weekend that you did last year, but run the races backwards. Like, run them in like, where you finish the race is where you start this time, just to have it like reverse. Like, I don't know. Like, I always thought that'd be kind of fun to do the marathon, like with the reverse course would be kind of fun to do.
But not run backwards.
Not run backwards. No.
My calves are burning just thinking about that.
No, you're not going to run backwards, but instead of like exiting Magic Kingdom over by Splash Mountain, you enter Magic Kingdom over by like Splash Mountain backstage. Like, you just run the course reverse, basically.
I like that idea, but I like the idea of attractions best, because like, how are you missing it? Because the folks that are Run Disney folks are, I would say 85% like hardcore theme park attraction nuts. And how cool would it be to have like you said, like a Haunted Mansion medal, or like a Big Thunder medal?
And that's in a way that's kind of what they did last year. Like, you had the Expedition Everest 5K, like that race came back. The race for the taste, but it was like Ratatouille, Remy theme, so you could kind of tie that to Remy's Ratatouille Adventure, then the Tower of Terror. So maybe just do something similar like that, but give us 3 different attractions. Because I think the medals that look like an attraction, like the Tower of Terror one, is so much fun to me. Like, I love that medal. So I don't know. I mean, the characters are fun, but like, I want something like attraction based.
Right, because you're there. It's like the destination. It's like you run the Chicago Marathon. It's going to have the skyline of Chicago. I mean, but when you like I think they announced the medals for Wine and Dine, and I mean, they're cool because it's got the guy from Soul, which I mean that's kind of cool medal. Like, that's cool, but it's like it's the movie. It's not the destination. Like, you're not. It has nothing. I mean, it does have. It's got a tangential relation to Walt Disney World, but it's not like. It doesn't show like where I ran the race. Yeah. It's just like it's the Disney brand. It's
here's an idea too. I just thought of this. So how they do the virtual 5Ks. Maybe springtime surprises is going to be like 5Ks, but it's through the park. So you do like a 5K Magic Kingdom run, and it's like the castle is the medal or something, or you do like a 5K at night, because I don't want to run through this area during the day because it's so blazing hot. But what if they did like a Typhoon Lagoon 5K where you run through the parking lot at night a little bit, because they do the H2O glow nights, and then you run through the park a little bit. I'm sure they could find some kind of 5K course with the park in the parking lot. And then you get like the ship or whatever from like the theme of like the icon of Typhoon Lagoon. Like, that would be cool too.
But see, here's the thing. I didn't sign up for Spring Surprise until the very last minute. And I'll be honest, the reason I didn't was because they didn't have a race further than 10 miles. Like, I told myself, I'm on the opposite. Like, if I was going to travel all the way to Florida, I wanted to do at least a half marathon. Like, because it's just like, that's just my thing.
I know it's your thing, but that's not everybody's thing.
I know it's not. But I mean, I hope that maybe they'll throw in like a a 10K, and at least something that the 10 miler was a good compromise. Like finally, I was like, yeah, I like the 10 miler. I can do that. But I hope they at least have a 10 miler. Like at least have something that takes a couple hours. Because like a 5K is over so fast. Like I want to, if I want to get up early and do all that stuff, I want to be out there and have a good time.
But like a person that can do more than 5K never gets a chance to do like one of those challenges. So that could be a way for them to do a challenge.
That's true. That's a good point.
And you think about in April, it's so hot. Like that's probably why they reduced it to a 10K, right? Because like no one wants to be passing out, right?
That's true.
Who knows? Like, either way, like it's going to be fun. If they put a 30-mile run out there, it'll be fun.
No, just stop that. I'm not that stupid. So, I had a guest today asking me about getting ready to book a trip in October, and she was worried that it was going to be too cold for her kids to be swimming. And I was explaining that, man, I've run races at Walt Disney World in November, and people are falling out because of the heat left and right.
Right.
I said, your kid will be able to swim in October, I promise you. For one thing, the pools are heated. For what you don't have to worry about it in general. But I'm telling you what, in November, it's blazing hot anyway in Florida. So yeah, it's fine. But great question. So, we'll have to see. So we'll probably get the announcement here in the next 48 hours of what the
exactly. And then we'll talk about it on Sunday night's live show.
That's how things happen around here. All right. Well, thanks for the amazing questions. Hope you enjoyed our show today. We love answering these. Hope you can tell we have a good time with this. And we'll be answering your questions again next Monday. We record these shows live, so come on over on Facebook and YouTube around 5:45 Eastern. Typically, we went a little bit early this week so we could grab some dinner early with our families, maybe because we were available. But we'd love to have you join us live in the chat. It always makes it so much more fun. Don't forget, today's show and all of our shows are brought to you by the great folks over at the Magic for Less Travel. They are our official travel agency, and we'd love to help you plan your next Disney adventure. Whether you want to run a race down at Walt Disney World, just have some fun for a great weekend out at Disneyland, sail the Disney Wish or any of the other ships on the Disney Cruise Line, or travel the world with Adventures by Disney. The agents are standing by right now to help you plan an amazing Disney trip for the lowest cost possible, and you'll get first-class service from the time you fill out that quote form. So we'd love to have you join us. So come on over at themagicforless.com, fill out that quote form, mention the show, and we'll take care of you from there. So again, check them out today over at themagicforless.com. Please also use our Amazon affiliate link when you shop online. That one extra click really does help us out. It's beourguestpodcast.com/Amazon. And a sincere thank you to the patrons of the Be Our Guest Podcast. You make all this podcasting possible. It's because of your support. And our patrons get that bonus show called Mike in the Midwest every week. So if you'd like to join us, please, we'd love to have you. Come on over to patreon.com/Be Our Guest Podcast. Give Scott a follow on the social media. He's at Epscott, EPSCOT on Instagram and Twitter. I'm at Be Our Guest Mike. I'd love to talk to you this week as well. And of course, join us this Sunday night, 7 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Central. We'll be taking your calls and talking Disney. So come on over, give us a call. It's your show. Last week was crazy. And this week, probably the same. We'll have a good time. I'm telling you what, don't miss this Thursday show tomorrow. The replay. I mean, it's Mike versus the Mockingbird. We have a snake that jumps out and calls Wade's name on one of his runs. I'm telling you what, it's just a show not to be missed. So, and we get a little college football talk. It's a little bit of stuff for everybody. So don't miss. I mean, I know that the live calling shows are a little bit different. They're not for everybody. But I'm telling you what, tomorrow's will be worth your time. So just make sure you download it and listen. All right, so we'll be back again on Friday. We're going to play Tough Disney Choices. I love these shows because they're tough and they're Disney choices and they're fun. So join us for that and play right along with your family as you maybe take a road trip over the weekend. So for Scott, I'm Mike, wishing you a great Wednesday. It's time to get back to work, but stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you real soon. A Run Disney Ultra Marathon. They used to do, so I don't know if people know this, but they had an inline skating marathon at Disney, which I missed when I used to be an inline speed skater, which I somehow missed, which I kicked myself because I didn't know about it then. They also used to have a triathlon at Walt Disney. Yeah. Can you imagine swimming in those waters?
No.
Heck no.
So Elizabeth is more like a bike rider than a runner, and she always like, man, I wish they had like Bike Disney, that would be kind of
cool. Yeah, I'd do that because I used to. I mean, I'm not like a fast bike rider, but we have a thing in St. Louis called the Moonlight Ramble. It's a 20-mile bike ride, and it starts at midnight downtown. I used to do that every year with my parents before like downtown became so dangerous.
Yeah. That was a good episode. I love the listener questions.
Dude, that was really good. People were killing it.
Dude, there were so many like in the chat, like we couldn't even get to. Save them for next
No,
week.
and I only got to one inbox question. I have a lot of good inbox questions too, but I mean, if you show up, I figure that's how I look at it. If you're in the live chat, you get your question. If I can get, I mean, I'm sorry I didn't get to everybody's. I apologize, but okay. So you help us out here. Hang out and do this show with us. This is 2128. Let me write this down real quick. Hopefully, I don't have any edits. I don't have to write anything down. Yep.
I'm going to ask you a tough Disney decision that I saw pop up as something that I could potentially have in August. So,
all right. T-Rex or
I'm doing neither. I'm actually doing neither. I'm sticking with my original plan, but this was an option out there.
Okay. I don't have any in my head, but I'll come up with some as we go. All right, here we go.
In the chat, throw some tough Disney decisions our way.
Yes, I can use yours, and I will use them. Yes, the Mike and Scott show continues. Mike and Scott in the afternoon.
The pregame show was kind of funny today, too. The pre-show.
Yes. We're getting you home. Traffic on I-364 is a little bit heavy between Bryan and...
Dude, I don't know about your town, but like, I mean, so in Michigan, we're trying to do this, like, get our roads better, because I know you've never been to the state of Michigan with our weather and everything and the way we do our roads, like potholes galore in Michigan.
Same.
Dude, my dad and brother live like 6 or 7 miles away. It takes me like 40 minutes to get to their house because I got to go through like 6 different detours of construction to get to their house.
Summer's all construction.
Yeah,
yeah. Summer is just.
But it always is. With this year more than ever is like ridiculous to just try to go anywhere. Just in my own town, it's crazy.
I hear you. Yeah, summer here is just ridiculous too. Like all the interstates just from like March to October, and then they shut it down around Thanksgiving because
so our main interstate that goes through like Lansing, like so it's like a 9 or 10 mile stretch. It's like a small little thing, but it helps like cut some traffic, or areas to go through. Right in the middle of it, like miles like 5 through 8 are dug up on both sides, so you can't even you can get on it, but you can only go for like 2 miles, and then you have to get off from like either direction. It is so annoying.
This is why I'm glad I don't leave. Like
you don't leave the house. Yeah.
And everything I need is right within a mile, literally a mile from me. Awesome. I never been trying to get you don't have to get your cars inspected in Michigan, do you?
No.
Every year.
No.
So I'm trying to get my Jeep inspected, and I've gone to like 6 different places to get this little emissions test. They stick this thing up in your pipe just to make sure you're not blowing out too much stuff. Yeah. And 6 different times, like they haven't had the right machine working. So I'm so ticked about this. I was sitting in the rain today with my top down at the place. Like, is the guy here? No, he's not here. And I got to do it by the end of the month, because if you have personalized plates, you got to get it in July. So, and you can't do it. So anyway, let's see. I can't kick this guy out because I don't know how to do that. We have somebody spamming. No, this won't post it. Idiots. All right. So let's do the show. 2128. Friday. Anything going on this weekend? I'm trying to think.
I mean, you kind of teased like the Magic Band Plus stuff is starting, but
yeah, there's no holidays this weekend. We're going actually to Lake of the Ozarks. We're going to Branson this weekend. But
are we not going to record then?
I'll be back Sunday night. I should be, because Sandy and Andy bought a house right behind us, like within 3 minutes away from us. It's a big house. It's really cool. It's got a big pool. It's got a big in-ground pool. Dude, it's gonna be awesome.
Oh, look at you! Look at you!
Yeah, so we're gonna be going over there. Hopefully, allowed to swim. But anyway, they're doing all the showings this weekend. So they have a lake house down at Lake of the Ozarks in Branson. So we're going to go down to Branson with them, and while they do showings, and hopefully it sells this weekend, so they can, because they've already bought the other house.
Oh shoot. Yeah.
Moving 4 weeks.
Yeah.
So Pam's been over there all week. Like they were staging it and they're taking pictures today. So
nice.
Yep. Lake of the Ozarks. We're going out Friday. Come back Sunday morning, I think. Okay. Anyway, let's do this.
Where are you going to run?
Dude, I might not run because it's super hilly and they don't have a treadmill. So I might just and my knees have been killing me.
I mean, you haven't ran outside in forever.
I have not. I haven't run outside since when was the last race?
It would have been the 10 miler.
Well, no, I did that one race here in St. Charles.
Oh, okay.
That
That's
almost
right.
killed me. It was super hilly. Oh, that course. Oh, that course was wicked. I will not sign up for that race next year. Even though I ran a PR, but I almost killed myself. Like some of those hills, I was like, "Are you joking?" And it was gravel. I'm like, All right, here we go. Checking in. Oh, now it's green.
Oh,
Tapped it. Now it's not doing anything. Why did it turn green?
I don't know.
Turn green for a second. Must have hit the button or something. Let me see. Oh,
Mickey's watching you. There it is.
Yeah. I guess that's a charge level. Anyway. All right, here we go. Welcome to episode 2128 of the Our Guest Walt Disney World Trip Planning Podcast. I'm your host, Mike Rahman from BeOurGuestPodcast.com and one of the senior agents over at the Magic for Less Travel. Happy Friday to you. Hope it was a very productive and, you know what, even though we're all adults here, a fun week. You got to have some fun mixed in with your work, and that's why we're here. Let's have some fun Disney talk to get the weekend rolling, as Jose says in the Tiki, I believe that's Jose in the Tiki room. And we're going to have just kind of play a fun game here. And maybe you'll take this along with you on your run to kind of pass the miles as you have a solo run possibly. Or we love when families listen to the show together and you could have this debate right there as you're cruising down the road. This weekend, we're actually headed down to Branson, Missouri to spend some time with our brother and sister-in-law at their lake house. And I don't think we're going to Silver Dollar City, even though I love that place. But we may just kind of hang out for a couple days down at the lake. And Branson's always fun just to kind of people watch and eat ice cream. So that sounds like a plan too. So as we're driving down the road, we may listen to the show. I never listen to our own podcast, but we may do this just so we can play some tough Disney choices here with Mallory and Pam. So shout out to Pam and Mallory if we're listening. Look at that. It's kind of meta. Like I'm sending shout outs to my girls as we're recording early. Kind of fun. Anyway, joining me today to have some fun as well, my partner in crime, hashtag Scotty G. What's up, Scott? Any big plans for the weekend?
I'm hoping to golf because I got rained out last weekend. So
I finally saw the video on Instagram as you were driving with your odds, and the odds were not looking good.
The odds were not in our favor, that's for sure. And then we went to the casino, and they definitely were in our favor there. But that's for another podcast. But yeah, happy weekend, happy Friday. I hope you have a great time at the Ozarks. Shout out to my girls Pam and Mal. I hope Mike's not driving you too crazy on this long road trip. How long of a road trip is it? How far is that?
It's about 4 hours each way. It's not too bad.
Okay, a little lengthy though. Yeah,
let's hop on I-44 Southwest.
Missouri's a big state. I mean, I guess you're going from one end to the other, right? It's kind of how that works. Yeah.
I mean, it's about, we're about halfway, like north-south, St. Louis, kind of in the middle there. But you get on I-44, go southwest, and just look for Matt Parrish. And when you see Matt Parrish, you're in the neighborhood there. So,
yeah. But hey, there is a member of the family missing. Is Riley coming with you on this, by the way?
I think she may be staying with the next door neighbors, but not positive. Okay. She's definitely not going to the kennel, even though we selected a kennel when we went to Disneyland, and we picked the most expensive kennel because, well, we kind of waited too long and there wasn't a lot of availability. But she's a spoiled dog, and we asked 1 million people, and we had, of course, Paige. This is her dog, right? So we had Paige ask all her friends, people to house sit. We exhausted like 38 options before we took her to a boarding place, and we picked a place called the Yuppie Puppy. So you can imagine this was a high-class joint. We even paid extra on 4th of July. She got a barbecue plate. I had to pay $5 extra for that. So she was well taken care of, but apparently I didn't know this. When dogs come home from a boarding place, sometimes they get something called the kennel cough.
Yeah.
So she got that. She's fine now, but we took her to the vet immediately, and we've been giving her pills for the last 10 days. And this dog is so smart. Dude, she's had Dairy Queen cheeseburgers. She's had hamburgers from McDonald's. She's had burritos because she will not eat the pills, and we put it in stuff, and she will eat around. I mean, and she watches us. She'll come in. She will not take a treat from my wife, period, right now, because she knows she's trying to slip me a Mickey. So not a Mickey Mouse either. And but I mean, fortunately today was the last day of the pills. She's all good. No problems anymore. But yeah, she had turkey. bread, but she would like eat around the pills, and like you would just see the pills sitting there. I'm like, this dog is smart.
Wow. Because like with
Yeah.
Oliver, we just put in a slice of cheese and boom, like it's
No,
gone. But
no,
we
no,
don't feed him normal like non-dog food. Very, very rarely do we do. So he gets super excited when he sees the cheese, like, oh yeah, I'm going to town on this, So
no, we don't feed her
right.
anything really
Okay.
usually either.
Yeah.
I mean, except for like, I mean, we were putting it in like Chick-fil-A potato, the fries,
Yeah.
we jam it down because she loves waffle fries. We jam it down. She'd eat the waffle fry around the pill. Like
That's
this,
incredible.
I know. Like, and the thing was like, I would laugh. I'd be like, oh man, Riley is so smart. I love this dog. Like this dog is a genius. And my wife would just get seething when I would say that because she was the one she did. And I love my wife because she took on this role. Like she was the person who fed the pill to the dog. And I mean, eventually you just have to like put the pill in her mouth and like blow on her nose, like, and then, it goes down the tube, I guess. I don't know. I mean, that's what Paige told us to do. I know, but she's healthy, so it's all good. But yeah, this dog is smart and she's sleeping right at my feet right now. And I love this dog. Anyway, so today we're playing Tough Disney Choices, and we kind of got this show rolling on Wednesday inadvertently with our listener from Norway, because she presented a really tough Disney choice to us, which I was going to kind of start off with you. It was going to be slightly different. I was going to offer you up a 7-night fantasy cruise versus a 4-night wish cruise and see what you bid on. But she had that situation where it wasn't the guest from Norway.
It wasn't the guest from Norway. Yeah, it was a first-time cruiser.
First-time cruiser. Yeah, but it kind of got us thinking about this, where it really does depend on your situation many times as to what the correct outcome or answer would be for these tough Disney choices, because what one person might pick might be different from what the other person might pick, depending on circumstances, how many times you've been to a destination, or what your likes or dislikes are, or what time of the year it is sometimes. So let's jump into this. And you said you had a good one. So let's start with yours. And Wade has one here in the chat. So if anybody else in the chat has one, throw them in and we'll use them for the show. But go ahead.
Yeah. I promise this will be my only, I think I promise that this will be my only Run Disney related question, but we kind of ended the Wednesday show talking about like Run Disney a little bit. So I wanted to like throw this funny question at you. What's your favorite Run Disney weekend, Mike?
Oh, it's a marathon weekend for sure.
Marathon weekend for sure.
I just don't want it to end, and that's the longest one.
Exactly. I know you love marathon weekend. So you can do marathon weekend for free. Someone's going to like flip the bill for you, like buy all your race registrations and your hotel stay. Or you get 2 other Run Disney races for free, where someone buys the registration, flips your room, but you can't do the marathon. So you have to either pick Princess, Wine and Dine, and Springtime. You can pick 2 of those, but no marathon, or the marathon weekend only. Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally. And that one's super easy for me. Marathon weekend. I would take 1 over 2 for that one. I know it's a lot of times I'm a kind of a quantity over quality guy. Like I would go like take the longer and the 2 trips, but marathon weekend is that special to me that there is just something about it. Like when you see, because we have a lot of lizards that go down for all the race weekends, and I've kind of made a point. I usually don't run Wine and Dine, but I did register for Wine and Dine this year. Obviously marathon. I've registered for Princess, and I'm going to register for Spring Surprise. So I wanted to do all 4 weekends this year just because I love seeing our lizards. And I always get like every year there's like 1 or 2 weekends that I typically don't do. And when I'm sitting at home, I'm just sad that whole weekend, and then Pam's always like, she always gives me the old, you could have gone. You could have told me that like 9 months ago when I could have bought a plane and registered, like I can't go now, like I can't get in the race. So, this year she's really cool about it and she's letting me go. So I'm excited that I get to go to all of them this year. I'm going to definitely use up my annual pass and, use some frequent flyer miles to make it, stay in value hotels and stuff like that to make it feasible. But there is just something special about marathon that I would give up 2 other weekends because there are just more lizards there. And the weekend lasts longer. The expo's bigger. Even though the other 3 weekends are great, there's just more of an energy at that weekend that, I mean, it's tangible everywhere. Like it is the Run Disney weekend. Yeah. And I want that. So I would give that up over, even if you said, if you went 3-1, I would still take marathon weekend.
So I knew that was going to be your answer, but I didn't know you were going to have it like that instant. So, I mean, that really proves how much like January, the marathon weekend means to you. You just talking though right now about like Wine and Dine. Like I signed up virtually because I was like, man, I got to stop doing it. And like You're gonna be down there. I know Wade's gonna be down there.
Oh,
Wade's
we
wife
gotta
Shelly
go.
and son Eric, they're gonna do their first half. Like I would love to run that race with them. And like now I'm like, ugh. Like, is the registration open? Because I kind of want to go down there now.
How many times have we gone out and had to get charity bibs because of FOMO?
I know. I
It's
think
like,
I'm gonna.
it's like
If someone in the chat can look right now, if there's a charity bib available, send me the
and
link.
that's the thing is like I've just decided not that charity bibs aren't a bad thing. Like I just know, like I finally learned after about 15 years of doing this stuff, like just sign up. Like you want to go, like your Pam is kind, like she knows this is my thing, and this is what I do for a living. Like I book Disney trips. Like this is just it's a business trip, but it's not. This. I mean, let's be real. Like this is what I love doing. Like this, I'm a kid. Like I just want to go down and run these races. That is so fun. This is my vacation. This is my jam. So I've just finally gotten to this point now that I'm 48 years old. Like just sign up. Like, don't be stupid. Just sign up when the race is open. It's hard enough anyway to get into them. So yeah, you need to get in. But so what would you do though? Say you were offered that 2-to-1 situation.
That's so tough. Because I agree. Like quantity sounds better, over like the quality. But like you're gonna get great quality whether you do like Princess and Springtime. Like I'm gonna put Princess in any kind of combination because I love Princess Weekend too. But it's so hard to throw away Marathon Weekend because it's so legendary. It's like it's the OG race weekend. It's the one that everyone comes down for. But in the one year I skipped the marathon, I flew down like late. Remember, like I did. It was Team Margarita where I cheered you on, and everyone else.
Cost you way more than sign up for Dopey.
Oh my god, it cost me like $2,000 just like buying margaritas with Neil and Dave Lawrence. Oh my god! But that was actually one of my most memorable marathons too. So like even just being there and not even running is like worth it. That's why I think it's a harder decision for me, but I probably would pick the 2 weekends, because I get two trips out of it,
True. I get it. I mean, that's what I said. It's just about circumstances.
Yeah.
All right. So here I have one. Here's kind of one that I want people to play along with. Okay. So Disney, this for annual pass holders, and everybody, either you could be an annual pass holder, maybe you were in the past, or I think the thing is like, it took me forever to become an annual pass holder. It's kind of an aspirational thing. Maybe you will be next year or in, 3 years, you just want to be. Disney offers this and they say, we're going to bring back where with your annual pass, you get Memory Maker included and you get like some kind of like a lanyard or something to wear, like that you can wear like every day of your trip that notes you that you are an annual pass holder, whether it's like a pin, a lanyard or something like that. So you get Memory Maker and some kind of tangible thing to wear, or they say you could get Genie Plus included on your annual pass for 10 days during your annual pass year. Would you take the Memory Maker plus the lanyard / pin that you could wear to denote that you're an annual pass holder? Something besides a mag, like something you can wear, not like something for your car or your kitchen, like your fridge. Or would you get Genie Plus included for 10 days during your annual pass year? Which one of those would you take?
Oof, that's tough. Oh man, because I really enjoyed Genie Plus at Disneyland when we did it. I haven't, tested the waters too much of Walt Disney World on Genie Plus. I mean, I've done it a couple times, and I mean, I've enjoyed it. But there's something about Memory Maker. You get the on attraction photos. You can just have these awesome photo ops. Like we're walking up to the gates at Magic Kingdom, and there's no one standing there with a photo pass. Like, oh, let's get a cool photo with the train behind us that the train's coming back. There's a lot of value there. I know what Ricky would say if she was here today. We know she would go with the Memory Maker, and she likes to show off that she's an annual pass holder too.
Well, and two, here's the thing. I think too, we were just talking about Run Disney. I think, is a Run Disney participant like a Memory Maker it's almost a requirement because I like the first time I ran the marathon and they didn't have Memory Makers part of like the on course photos. I paid $279 for my Dopey pictures for one weekend, and I didn't even get that great of pictures.
I did too. Yeah, and they're not. You compare those to the quality that we get today. That's not even close.
Terrible. It was like marathon photo. They were terrible pictures, and I got them for the whole year now for less than that. So yeah, but I mean, so what would you do though? I mean, I think Run Disney people, it's a no brainer. But
yeah, I mean, I was already leaning towards the Memory Maker. It's interesting because I'm not in this situation, but it was weird. When I renewed our APs, I was like, do I buy Memory Maker for all three of us or do I just get it for one? I ended up just putting it on mine because the three of us are normally together anyway. So I just scanned my Magic Band, but Yeah, I could definitely see a lot of value in that Genie Plus, right? Because especially your annual pass holder, maybe you don't use all 10 at one time. If you're doing a long trip, you just spread it out over the 365 days, and we do 2 to 3 each trip. There could definitely be some good value there, but I'm going Memory Maker for sure. Sounds like you are too, because you talked about Run Disney's a huge value there.
Yeah, I totally would, because I think Genie Plus you can add kind of as needed. Like you may not even need it for 10 days during your I know it's hard to believe, but I mean, also, I mean, you might use your annual pass for 7 days out of a year if you're somebody that's, in St. Louis. But I mean, you could be an annual pass holder that gets down there for 90 days out of a
Yeah,
year. You know what I'm saying? So it just depends where
yeah.
it
You're
also depends where the parks.
You're
I'd
talking
say
about the Run Disney like photo pass, and they are so great. They capture so many great photos, and some not so great, not so flattering photos, which we don't share on
they're the
social
best.
media.
I mean, those are always the fun ones.
They're funny. I do share mine on social media because I don't even care. They're funny. But what if they like had someone that did like video too? Like, how cool would that be if there was like 3 to 4 second videos of you like on the course? Like, that would be the next thing they could do to up that. Not related to this show, but I just had that idea when you were talking about it.
I think that they should have a live. They did this one year,
The
like at
live feed, yes.
of this. I mean, it doesn't cost that much to have a live video stream nowadays. Like seriously, they
I
had
wanted that so
They
bad
wanted
for my first
that
full.
9 years ago. Yeah,
Because I would have called I always would call my mom like on the home stretch, like, "Hey, I'm about to finish my marathon. Thanks for being a great supporter." And how cool would it have been if I called her and then she could like tune into a live stream and like saw me like crossing the line, like talking to her. Like,
Yeah, it's
oh
a big
man, like,
deal.
it's an
Yeah.
easy thing to do.
It's not hard. Like seriously, and I'm with Brooke. Like I can't believe they did take that away, because that's just a goodwill gesture. I know that it's a profit center, right? Because they just got me for another $200. I mean, or $100 or whatever. I don't even know what it costs because I didn't even think about it. I just clicked on it and I just like turned.
Yeah.
There's some things like I renewed my annual pass. Like I just bought it and I didn't even think about it because I need it. I have to have it because like I have to go down. I do that for my work, and I go to all the races. It's just something I have not bought them for the girls. I just bought it for myself, but it would be such a goodwill gesture because it was there. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not costing them a ton of money. It just isn't. It's digital. I know you got to pay for the photographers and all that, but come on now. Okay, so let's move on to the next one. What do you got?
Okay, so this is like a top Disney choice for resorts, like booking a resort. So next month I'm staying at Coronado Springs, standard room. Totally fine, right? Great price, great kind of a good deal. But you know me, Mike, I'm always looking around like, oh, where else could I stay? Like, what other options are available? So they're doing like an AP rate and like a Disney Plus subscription rate for this summer. So I looked, and there was a 1-bedroom at Saratoga Springs, preferred. And I love those 1-bedroom villas at my DVC resorts at like a couple $100 more a night. Sounded really good. You get the value of that extra room. So my tough decision is, would you stick with your standard room, at Coronado, or would you pay like $150 to $200 more to get the preferred 1-bedroom? You get the laundry, you get the bigger room, you get the easy access to walk into Disney Springs. I mean, there's a lot of value there. It's summertime. It's a long trip. What would you do in that case?
See, we talked about this off air, and my answer was stick with Coronado Springs because you go so often that you are going to get back to Saratoga. Now, that is a good deal over at Saratoga. And you mentioned the laundry in the 1-bedroom, which is a huge perk because, you don't have to pack as much. You can just throw stuff in, and you go to the parks. And when you get back, midday break, you throw them into the dryer.
You buy some groceries too, and you like make some breakfast in the room. Like, we've done that.
Yeah. I mean, there's not a wrong answer, but I mean, the thing is, you're going to have a good experience at Coronado. Coronado is a great resort. You're going to save some money there. And you go a lot, so you're going to get back to Saratoga in that 1-bedroom sooner rather than later. I say go with Coronado and just don't look back. Don't say I wish I was being able to walk over to Disney Springs and I was at Saratoga. To say, hey, I'm at Coronado now. I'm having a different experience. I'm going to go to Three Bridges. I'm going to go to Maya Grill. I'm maybe going to go to Toledo. And enjoy the amenities there and kind of don't look back. But I don't know what decision are you thinking?
Which those 3 words you keep saying, Mike, don't look back. And that's a problem I have. This being my travel agent, man. I change my decisions every 2 to 3 days. Like I can't commit. It seems like because I'm always looking for something different or better. And you're right. Like, don't look back. Coronado's an awesome resort. We've had so many great memories with my family there. Like we spent time with your family there. I remember we stayed there before that cruise that our two families did where we had the party bus.
Yes.
You had like the concierge or whatever they had, like the weird concierge room that they
Yeah, it was
back in the day.
it was actually the business level concierge over in the cabana section, which got demolished for the tower.
Right. So many, and like I can't remember the last time I was in one of those standard rooms. Like the last time I stayed at Coronado, I was in the tower, which is beautiful. But I kind of like those old rooms, like in the Castitas, or the ranchos. Like it just takes me back to like a different time when we used to vacation. But so don't look back. I've already had that room booked. So final decision is I did stick with Coronado, and I figured like I could take that money and put it towards another vacation, or maybe have like a couple more signature meals or something, like
seriously. Yeah.
Because either way, you're at Walt Disney World and you're having fun. So yes, the bigger room and laundry is so nice, especially as our family, we're getting older, but there's just something about those old standard rooms at Coronado that I love.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's the right choice. All right, Wade, our good buddy who, again, if you listen to the replay of the Sunday night show yesterday on the feed, had the snake jump out at him and call his name, apparently. So just saying, Wade, and we're just glad he's still with us. He has one in the live chat here. He says, Disney decision. Go to the DVC Moonlight Madness at Typhoon Lagoon 2 nights after attending the Glow Night at Typhoon Lagoon. So is that, this isn't like an either or decision. I think this is this a good decision, or is that an either or?
Yeah, maybe it is like it's a good decision there. Like what do you do in that case? So so this is a real life scenario. Let me preface that.
Kind of like yours, exactly.
So Wade and I and Beth, our families, were going to the H2O Glow Nights in August, and then out of the blue, DVC, like they do those Moonlight Magics, like recently said, hey, like we're gonna bring back some Moonlight Magic at Typhoon Lagoon for DVC members that are staying on site. You can book this day. And I looked at the dates, and it was 2 days after we go to H2O Glow Nights. So here was my thought process, Mike. Like, do I skip it? Like, we're spending like the $60, $70 or whatever. We're gonna basically do the same thing already that you can't get refunded. Or would I go do something different that night? And I'm sitting, I'm working a little bit. I'm like getting lined up to queue. Like, do I really register for this? And my thought was free Mickey bars, free sodas, night swimming, night wave pool. Like, why? And it's free. Why would I not sign up for this? So I messaged Wade like, hey, I'm going to do it. Like, I know it's silly. We're going 2 nights before. And then Wade responds like, yeah, I think I'm going to do it too. There's free Mickey bars. There's free sodas. You had the same exact thought process as mine. Why would you not do it?
Yeah, I mean, that's a good point. At first I was going to say, you really got to like the water park, but I know you're really a big fan. I mean, you always, if you watch Scott's pictures on Instagram, there's always a midday break in the pool, and there's always some night swimming. And then you got the snacks built in, and it's kind of an exclusive event. Yeah, why not? I mean, it's offered and have fun. It's a perk of DVC. Take advantage.
Yeah, it's just that it's another night where you could be like at Epcot or or something, like, because you don't really think about being at the water parks at night, like on any vacation, right? But let alone twice in 2 and 3 days. But it's it'll be a cool experience, and and the Moonlight Magic might be a little bit different than the H2O Glow Nights. We'll find out, but we're gonna do both.
Do they ever give any kind of like not souvenirs, but any like swag for DVC members at those events? I've obviously never been to one. I'm not DVC.
A little bit. So I went to like the very first one they did, and I think you remember it was like the 25th anniversary party where they did like the special fireworks show.
Yeah, fireworks still were unreal.
It was unbelievable.
Unreal, yeah.
But so for that, like they had, because I've done some of these other like hard ticket events, and I felt like the dessert offerings or like the beverage and food offerings were a little bit different and better at the DVC one. Plus, they had like special characters that you could meet. And I feel like the capacity was capped a little bit more. So it felt more, less busy, I would say, at the DVC one. So I think that's a benefit there too, that you might see less people at the DVC one.
All right. Crystal's got a good one here in the live chat. She says, decision, first time cruising ever will be next year's podcast cruise. Excited to be cruising with you, Crystal, and your family. We've never been to the Bahamas. Do we stay on the ship or go explore the island as long as we can? See, this is, again,
we're the wrong people to ask this question.
It's so hard because we've been to the Bahamas so many times at this point. But I will tell you what, here's the thing. And I know that you'll second guess this because I would do the exact same thing. So I'm going to tell you this answer, and you're going to think I'm giving you the wrong answer, but I would still say because it's a 4-night cruise and because we're going to be on this amazing ship with so much going on, especially a group cruise, where I promise you by the time we dock in Nassau, you're going to have developed relationships, hopefully with us and with other listeners of the show, that we're going to have a lot going on. And we're going to do this while we're docked in Nassau. We're going to still have events happening, hopefully at the same time on the ship. I would stay on the ship because I will tell you what, the last few days, unless you have like something planned for like Paradise Island or Atlantis, the casino over there, they do have excursions, like they have a dolphin encounter kind of thing. If you have something planned that you want to do, like that is specifically planned, then you might want to get off the ship and go do that. However, I would really not encourage you just to go out into Nassau and explore that island by itself, because you're going to see that it's not the island looks super pretty when you're like docked on the ship. You'll see all these pastel colored buildings. It's beautiful. It's great for pictures. But the thing is, and I'm not saying this to I'm not saying this to be any kind of way, but when you're on this Disney Cruise Line ship, the food you're going to get on that ship is probably better than any of the food you're going to get in Nassau. You're going to be in air conditioning on this ship, and it is extremely hot in Nassau in July. And I mean, Nassau's great, and the people in Nassau are awesome. I love the people in the Caribbean. I just love exploring other cultures. But some of the people, they're street vendors. They can get a little aggressive. Like Paige has super long hair. Everybody was asking her about braiding her hair, which she did get her hair braided one time, but then people keep asking. So unless you're used to that kind of cultural exchange, it can be slightly overwhelming. Like if you stay on the ship, you know what you're getting. You're in that Disney like deluxe kind of environment. And you don't have to sweat things. I would stay on the ship, but I mean, if you're adventurous, want to get out there, there's nothing wrong with that either. I don't know. Scott, give your 2 cents on that.
I mean, you hit all the points, right? Like, I mean, it'd be cool, right, to get off at the Bahamas. You've never been, it's exciting. But that ship is going to be so gorgeous, and there's going to be so many things that you've never experienced. It's your first time cruising. You never witnessed the ship before. And who knows, like, I mean, I don't know what your outline is. Like, if you'll want to, I can tell you already, you're going to want to rebook. So you're going to want to do another cruise once you're on there. But I don't know if you plan on doing another cruise. So I just want to say, take advantage of the ship and Mike already hit it. Like, you're going to have all these friendships already after the first night. And a lot of us are going to stay on the ship most likely. So you might want to have like some meals or lunch or go swimming or do trivia with us. At the end of the day, like, I want you to make the decision that's right for your family. Maybe it's just get off and get a taste of it. Like, don't go super far in.
And that's what I was going to say. Yeah. So one way you can do that, and we've done this ourselves, we've kind of compromised. And what we've done is when you get off the ship, you go through like a little, I don't know, because I don't even have a passport. I know I'm terrible. I tell everybody I have a passport. I'll be honest, I don't have one. I just use my driver's license. If I ever get sick, I'm done. So I'm just rolling the dice every cruise. I should edit this all out of the show. But here's the thing. So you go through like the little booth, like the little government booth, that lets you actually into the Bahamas. And then there's what's called the straw market. Like immediately there's this little market. It's called the straw market because mostly they sell like those purses and wallets and all this stuff that's made out of like straw.
Emily's got a purse from there.
Yeah. And so that's what Mallory would buy for her friends. She bought it for all of her friends in the neighborhood. It's that cheap stuff. You can buy purses for $5. And it's all the local vendors. I mean, if you want a taste of the Bahamas, get off the ship, walk through the straw market, buy some of those kitschy little souvenirs, then come back to the ship. You don't even really get out into the Nassau proper at that point. That would be like a compromise. If you want to say like, I went to the Bahamas, it's not really, it's not really Nassau.
And she just did make a comment about like that. She definitely wants to check Castaway Cay. So so we're specifically talking about Nassau right here. Definitely get off the ship and enjoy Castaway Cay.
You got to do Castaway Cay. I mean, I know not everybody's a huge fan, but Cookies Barbecue is one of my family's favorite meals of the year. We love cookies. And I can't even go to the adult beach because I have a kid. But I've heard the food on the adult beach is amazing.
Mike, I don't know if I talked about this. I was actually disappointed in Cookies. They did not have the spicy chicken sandwich, and that's like my favorite thing. I know.
Thing too. What? Stop the presses. What?
Whoa. So get this. I do the 5K, and then my traditional 5K, and then I jump in, like into the ocean. I'm like, oh my god, like. And then already I'm like, oh man, I can't wait to have cookies. So we're out there, having a good time talking with my family, and I'm like, you know what? I think I'm going to skip a burger and a hot dog, and I'm just going to do 2 spicy chicken sandwiches. I'm going all in on the spicy chicken sandwiches. And Elizabeth said, what makes you think they'll have them? And like, I'm not a blamer, but like, come on, Elizabeth, why are you throwing that into the air? Like, why would they? why would she say that? Like, they might not even have them. I'm like, well, Liz, they always had the spicy chicken sandwich. And we go up there, they didn't have them. Unbelievable.
That's she spoke it into existence. I
Yeah,
don't think
but minus that, like, it's still great though. I mean, it's cookies. It's awesome.
Oh, yeah, because you're eating out again, but again, back to the Sunday night show, you got to watch the birds. I mean, just saying,
You do have to watch.
I don't think they're mockingbirds. But
and then we ended up being crammed in there, everybody on the island, because there was a water spout.
Water spout, exactly. Water tornado. Okay, so really, you can't make a bad choice. And the thing is, like, if you get out there and you regret it, just turn around, get back on the ship. The thing is, like, the good news about Nassau and obviously Castaway Cay, because Disney owns that island, is that you're not tendering. Which, if you know what tendering is, it's where, like, if you go to Grand Cayman on a Disney cruise, the ships are not allowed to like dock right there on the island. They park out, and you got to get on these little boats and ride these little boats into the island. You don't have to do that at Nassau. You're actually docked right there. So if you don't like it, just get back right on the ship. I mean, you're back on in 10 minutes. But it is hot in July in Nassau. I mean, I'm not lying. It's hot in Castaway Cay in July, but get in the water. That's what we do. The 5K can be brutal, but hey, we're crazy. That's what we do. Okay, so let me give you a tough Disney choice. I was thinking about this one. So kind of with recent circumstances, somebody offers you up. You were talking about Sarah. I'm just trying to give you one person. I'm trying to come up with a personal one.
Yeah.
So somebody offers you up 7 nights in a 1-bedroom, preferred view at Saratoga Springs.
It's those are nice rooms. You've been in those rooms. Those are nice. We got a Florida rainstorm from those rooms.
And I've heard you like them.
Yeah.
So I was listening here about 10 minutes ago. Or you get 3 nights at the Grand Californian at Disneyland. Tickets included for the weekend.
Oh, man.
You get to pick one of those two.
You are killing me.
We're at Disneyland Hotel. And, dude, I love Disneyland Hotel. I mean, it couldn't have been any better for me. But the whole time you're like, the only thing better would be if we were at the Grand Californian and we're walking into DCA. I'm like, shut up.
That would be the... I know, and I'm glad you went the way you did, because that's how we did it. Like, our first trip was at Disneyland Hotel, like 6 or 7 nights, like you did, and yeah, so you didn't even know any better,
right?
And,
I know you're like,
and I love the Disneyland Hotel, like walls all over the place. The pool is awesome. You got the couple restaurants. Everything is perfect about the Disneyland Hotel. But man, the Grand Californian is spectacular.
And we ate there. We
storytellers.
Storytellers, just great.
We saw the yoga like on the pool that morning too.
That was epic, by the way. One of the coolest things I ever saw. Seriously, we didn't even talk about that. There were like 6 people in the pool right outside the entrance of Storytellers Cafe doing yoga in the pool, like literally in the pool on like boogie boards. Like they were balancing and doing all those like downward dogs while balancing. This was such a California thing. Like this. Like every once in a while we see like commercials during baseball games for like California. And like, this was something you would see on a come to California commercial, like people doing yoga on boogie boards in a pool. It was epic.
Yeah.
Anyway, back to the question though. You taking 3 at Grand California with tickets included, or are you going to Saratoga for 7?
I'm going to Grand California for 3 nights.
There's the quantity and quality question.
Yeah. And this is kind of like, well, I've been to Saratoga so many times, and I can do that trip again. Like Grand California is just, it's so special to me. It is my favorite Disney hotel. And it feels like it's like a wilderness lodge, kind of Animal Kingdom lodge, but there's just something about like the beauty of that. The pool area is like unlike any other. The lounge chairs are awesome. Like the service is great, and you can just backdoor right into DCA. And that's like my favorite theme park. So, man. That's a tough one. I'm giving up 4 nights. I'm giving away 4 nights in a 1-bedroom. It was 7 total, but by subtraction, I'm just throwing that away just for 3. But that's what would you do in that case?
I would do the same though. Dude, I'm so into Disneyland right now, man. I'm ready to take up California. And I even like this. I'm not even a big fan. I mean, I'm not saying this to offend the people that listen out in California. I love y'all. But like, I fell in love with Disneyland, not necessarily the whole state of California, because driving out there was a little sketch. Like, I mean, those highways were wide and people were flying. And I mean, I drive fast. I thought I did in St. Louis. That stuff was nuts. But I do love In-N-Out. So I'm just saying, I could do a little double animal style right now instead of Taco Bell. It's not happening tonight. No, but I would totally do that because I got to get back to Disneyland somehow, some way, like ASAP. And you kept every time dude, the only thing better is if we're at the Grand California, we're walking in DCA. Like, oh, dude, okay, well, that's what I got to do.
I know. I don't know why I kept saying that because it just tells you how much I love the Grand California. Like
That's
you're like,
awesome.
dude, like what's wrong with that? What's wrong with the Disneyland Hotel? Nothing is wrong with the Disneyland Hotel. It's awesome.
And this is why it's awesome vacationing with your best bud. I'm just saying, we're on beer cans together. Yeah. This is why you do this. Okay, time for a couple more. Go ahead, give me another.
All right, this one's kind of weird, but I think I might know this answer. So every pavilion in World Showcase is awesome, right? I love all 11 pavilions. Do you have two that you really like don't care for that much? I think Norway and Morocco might be your two least favorite, but I don't know.
Norway's fine. I mean, okay. Akershus is good.
Okay. Do you have two that you're just like, kind of on?
If I had to say, let's see, probably Italy. Italy's pretty boring.
Okay.
And Germany's pretty boring. I like Beer Garden though, so I'm going to keep Germany. I would throw out Italy, and I would throw out
this. Yeah, this is going to lead up to my question.
Yeah, Morocco and okay. Italy.
Right. Okay, so just for fun, because you're my best bud, I just gave you a $500 Disney gift card, and the caveat to that is that you have to take that card and spend all day either in the Italy pavilion or the Morocco pavilion, and have to spend it either like merchandise or eating. But if you don't spend it all, rather eating and buying merchandise, I get you owe me $500. So which pavilion are you going to pick?
I could totally do that. Neither one.
I know, but just like, how would you? I kind of want to know like how you're going to spend it too, though.
Yes, I would definitely go Italy because I could have pizza all day at like Via Napoli. The pizza window.
You're gonna buy like $300 worth of pizza.
Yeah, I mean, if I went to Morocco, like I'd be like loaded up on fezzes. So I'm thinking about that. I don't even know why I'd want to wear a fez. I wouldn't wear a fez, but I'd maybe get Pam a belly dancer costume or something. I don't know.
I know it's a silly question. It's tough when you're not prepared. But in this scenario, I would go with Italy too, because there's some great merchandise that you can buy in there too.
Is there?
They got like a lot of like soccer jerseys and things like that you could buy. Yeah.
What do they have besides like flags?
Nope, they have like some Puma gear, I think too, and like some soccer jerseys, and I could buy some beer in there. I'm not gonna buy $500 worth of beer. That was kind of a crazy number I threw out there. But so basically, you would spend between those two pavilions, and your tough decision, you would spend the day in Italy.
Yeah, we totally, because I'd be eating pizza and that Alfredo's was what the place was called back in the day when I ate there, but now it's what is it? The
Tudo.
Yeah.
So that's what I would do. I would have Tudo for dinner, and I would go have Via Napoli for like lunch. And Tudo, like I would find the most expensive bottle of wine. Like, oh, my buddy Mike's buying this, and so give me the most expensive wine and like do some chicken parm. Yeah,
we buy that big half liter right there, and there's like $90. That thing was huge.
Yeah.
Okay, so Chad's got a question in the chat here. He says, "Tough decision: renew my annual pass, even though I know I can only go to Disney World once next year and won't get my money's worth, or let it expire and hope that Disney brings back annual pass sales for the following year when I get to go multiple times." You know what? This is a great question because I think so many of us have been in this situation. Because I mean, personally, I renewed my annual pass in May and I'm not going until November, but I know when I go in November, I'm going in November, I'm going in January, I'm going in February, I'm going in April, and I'm going in May. So I know on the back half, it's going to make a ton of sense, right? So I needed to renew, but it killed me to renew in May, knowing I'm not going to use it it's sitting for 6 months, probably without a trip. So back to Chad though, it's the same about me. What would you do if you were in Chad's shoes in this tough Disney decision?
Yeah, because I know some people that were in this decision. They let their past lapse, Mike, and they regret it because
I know
they took the chance, right? Well, I'm not going to go for the next 6 months, so let's just let it lapse, and I'll buy a new one. And 6 months comes, and you got to buy Magic Your Way tickets. I think I would still renew the pass. I really would. I know that's a big expense, right? Like a lot of upfront cost. But I feel like it has so many benefits when it comes to, like room discounts or, dining, like just to give that up, not knowing when you could be able to renew it again. I think it's worth that upfront cost, even though you only have the one trip where you can still find value in renewing it and not taking that chance.
The thing too is, and this is the way I look at it too, is like, I don't think I'm traveling until Wine and Dine, but because I have it, opportunity could knock in August, and
Yeah.
who knows, because the thing is you get a really good rate. I mean, because we went to Disneyland and I paid for 3 airfares, I do have quite a few frequent flyer miles at this point. So, you know, the, because I have my tickets, and tickets are such a huge, if you look at the percentage of your Disney overall trip, and you saw this with Disneyland, so
Yeah.
did I. Like when we had to buy tickets for we usually don't buy tickets. Usually we just get a hotel and flights and we're good for our vacations. But when you have to buy tickets as part of your whole experience, that's a big piece of the pie. So I know that it's a big upfront cost, but opportunity could pop up where if you have the tickets covered and you can get a value hotel, stay at an all-star, stay at a Pop Century, and maybe you catch a really good deal on a flight through Southwest, maybe you sneak down for a quick weekend, and that opportunity is there because you have the pass in your pocket.
Yeah. And even if you don't, like, I know it's a lot of cost just to not get, because we used to have like a calculation, right? Oh, if you go X amount of times and if you fall short of that, it might stink for that first year, but down the road, if passes aren't back and you're still able to renew at a discount, like you still may have saved yourself money in the long run, even though it hurt that first year where you didn't get your values worth. That's a tough situation to be in. And I'm glad I'm not, but I would actually like keep the pass. I really would. I just hate like losing the annual pass.
And that's what I did. I mean, I renewed mine, but I did not renew the girls. That's how I looked at it. Like when they come back, if and when, then I'll look at getting the girls their passes back, which they've always had. But, it just doesn't make sense right now. But I mean, I know that I would have FOMO and just kind of the situation I'm in. Like I go down a lot more frequently for races and sometimes we have work events and stuff like that. So yeah, like he says, if a last minute Run Disney race registration pops up, yeah. I mean, it's just having it opens up the opportunity to get down there less expensively than when you have to go with a full package. You're just like, it gives you more incentive to like be on the prowl, which again could cost you more money because then you probably wouldn't get, if you say you're only going once, you're probably only going once without a pass. You're not even looking. But with a pass, you're going to be looking all the time. Like, okay, when can is this going to, can I do this? So anyway, good question. So great show. I love these things, Scott. Good questions today. And hopefully everybody kind of played along and maybe they screamed at us, right? I used to say screamed in their iPods. You realize we've been doing the show so long that the iPod is now extinct.
Yeah. Here's a fun one just to end your weekend on though, Mike. This one's for you. So you can either spend the next like a long weekend in St. Louis and not go to Walt Disney World, or you could go down and the only park reservations you can get are Animal Kingdom for 4 straight days. Do you just say, never mind, I'm going to hang out in St. Louis, or do you take the 4 days at Animal Kingdom with hopes that you could still park hop though, right?
I would hop. Yeah, I would go down and hop and resort time it. You know what I'm saying? Like I might not even. I mean, Animal Kingdom is a fun park. I could have fun there. Don't get me wrong. But like
4 days in a row.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't go all 4 days. Don't get me. No, but I can have fun at the resorts. Like I don't. That's the thing is I'm learning is like it's each year it gets less and less about the theme parks.
Oh, for
like
sure.
It's more about just being there, being there with the people that are there and just going and having good meals and hanging out in pools and just, going to get pub subs. Like I don't have to be in a theme park. Like, as much fun as Epcot is, and having the park hopper does help because I know like, okay, I'll check in at Epcot, maybe do Everest or maybe go on the safari, bounce out, and then, catch you at Epcot at 2:00, or something like that, or at the studios. I don't know. What would you do if you had to be in that
situation? I would rather be at Walt Disney World than being at home for 4 days. If I had that opportunity where I could be at a resort, be at a theme park. And I mean, I love Animal Kingdom. That's why I was just trying to be funny with you because I know like you like it, but I know it's your least favorite. You sometimes don't go there. That's why I was just find it funny if you went 4 straight days in a row when you have gone like 4 trips in a row without going there.
I would still go. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, here's the weird thing about Animal Kingdom with me. When I go there, I have a good time at that park. But for some reason, I have this mental thing. Like it's work to go there. I don't know if it's because of the marathon. Like I'm always so exhausted when I run through that. I have like negative connotations with it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like we should have a show on that sometime. Like these mental blocks we have with certain Disney things that don't make sense in reality once we get there. Like Coronado, I used to think was like a million miles away from everything else. It's not. It's right in the middle. Yeah. It's a great location. But I had that for years.
Yeah. You just talked about pub subs. I think that might be something to do on my next trip. I'm going to go get a pub sub and just take it home. I mean, take it home in quotes, but go to a quiet pool at Coronado and just eat my pub sub. Like that sounds awesome, doesn't it?
Just don't send me a picture because I'll be so jealous of that. Like, the other day I was watching, so we both watch Big Brother.
Yeah.
And I was watching the live feeds and they were discussing like fast food places and they got the like Subways and Jimmy John's and I don't know, like Potbellies and some of these other. Then the guy from Miami starts talking about pub subs. I'm like, oh, he is winning. I'm like, this is exact. And he's explaining none of these other people had even heard of they knew of like a Publix grocery store, but they had no idea what a pub sub was. And I mean, I've only had one and I'm acting like, I'm in the house like, oh yeah, pub subs. Best thing ever. I've had half of one in a parking lot with you, and like it was falling all.
Which is pretty epic. We were like tailgating in the parking lot before marathon.
And I'm like, Joseph is so right about the pub sub.
And I know I was about to say it had to have been Joseph, right?
Yeah. I was like, now I want him to win the game because he likes pub subs.
He's getting America's favorite house guest from you.
Yeah, totally. I'm totally voting for him because he likes pub subs. Anyway, we got to get out here and let you get on with your weekend. Thanks for hanging with us. Hopefully you played this game along with your friends and family in the car. Maybe you hopefully passed a few miles here as you're running along or walking, getting ready for your next race. But thanks for being a part of this. We love having you here with us. So have a great weekend. Don't forget today's show brought to you by the Magic for Less Travel. You know all the deets at this point. Just swing by the Magic for Less, fill out the quote form. We'll take care of you from there. Whether it's Walt Disney World, Disneyland, Disney Cruise Line, Adventures by Disney. Mention the show, and it really does help us out. I'll be helping you plan that trip. So again, themagicforless.com. Please also use our Amazon affiliate link. That one extra click is a super easy way to support the show. Just click through beourguestpodcast.com/Amazon. And a sincere thank you to the patrons of the Be Our Guest Podcast. You make all this podcasting possible. If you'd like to join us and get that bonus show called Mike in the Midwest, come on over. Patreon.com/Be Our Guest Podcast. Join us this Sunday night, 7 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Central. Be a part of the show. That is literally where you can talk about anything Disney you want to talk about. You have a question, ask away. You want to share a mini trip report? Do that. We love those too. Join us on Facebook and YouTube, 7 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Central, Sunday night. You, me, and Scotty G. Speaking of Scotty G, follow him right now on Instagram and Twitter at Epscott, EPSCOT. I'm at Be Our Guest Mike in the same two places. Give me a follow as well. And until we get together on Sunday night, you guys have a super weekend with those you love. So for Scott, I'm Mike, wishing you a great weekend. Stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you real soon. That was a good one. That was fun.
Yeah. Not that we need more podcasts to record, but man, it would be fun to record like just a random like your Mike in the Midwest where we talk about college football, pub subs.
Oh, we totally should, dude. We need to do that. So we should do that on Mike in the Midwest sometime.
Yeah.
When you have a few minutes, let me know. Let me get this saved real quick. I'm always paranoid, like because it's looking like it's gonna rain. I'm always scared I'm gonna lose it, like the power go out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So great
questions though. I love the questions that we're getting. My Epcot one was just kind of dumb. I was just like fried at that point. Like I couldn't come up with anything good. But
so boar's head's meat is what makes pubs. So I've seen boar's head meat at delis before. So I didn't know.
Kroger. I don't know if you have a Kroger out there.
We used to. We don't have them here anymore. But
like
I've
Kroger
seen
has it.
Delis. Okay, so that's a good tip. I think it's just because I'm in Florida and I'm on vacation. That makes.
But we had like the one we got wasn't like we did the chicken tender one, and like oh my god, that was so good.
God, I'd probably pay $50 for one right now. I'd pay at least 25. I would easily pay 25 for like a foot long pub sub right now.
Oh yeah, that chicken tender one. Put some pickles on there. I don't know if you like pickles or not, but
whatever, dude. Put whatever you want on there. I'd eat it. I'm hungry right now. All right, I'm gonna roll and edit these two up and go get some dinner. So I appreciate you doing it early, and it's been fun. So tell everybody we said. All right, see you guys later.
See everybody. Bye.